Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Toby. Welcome to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. I'm going to give a big shout out to my day ones for the past 6 years, my subscribers, my listeners. I appreciate people who talk about this podcast, who share this podcast, who support this podcast, who write reviews for this podcast. Really appreciate all your support. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been giving it away for free. So many people ask me why I don't film it, why I don't monetize on YouTube, why don't I charge people for it on Patreon? And their answer is because I don't want to. I love these conversations in my kitchen. I love the honesty. I love that people want to come back for 2 or 3 episodes, the reoccurring guests that I have all the time. I love it. No lights, no cameras. I myself do not like going on podcasts that are being filmed and have lights. I've done it a couple times. I'll probably never do it again. I don't feel like myself in those situations. So I want all my guests to be as comfortable as possible. I do have sponsors. The sponsors keep my shit going. They keep it alive. But I will never interrupt a conversation with an ad in the middle of it. People do that all the time, and I will never interrupt the flow of a conversation. So don't worry about that. But I do have amazing sponsors who I align myself with, who the products that I use on a daily basis. I've turned down so much money for sponsors that want to be part of this podcast with companies I've never tried or didn't align with. I'm very picky about who I have on my sponsors and have on this podcast. That being said, check out the sponsors. Joe, cue up the music. Since 1987, Rockabilia has been around doing officially licensed merch. No bootlegs from all the artists that I freaking love, from pop to hip hop to rock to hardcore to punk. Over 500,000 items on this website, independently owned, operated in the USA. Custom limited collabs drop every month exclusively on this website from visual artists and tattoo artists. We have so many bands that I love and artists that I love, from Gaga to Blink, Katy Perry, Bad Brains, Beastie Boys, De La, Tribe Called Quest, 50 Cent, Billy, Deftones, Dead Kennedys, DMX, Dr. Dre, Eric B. and Rakim, Goo Goo Dolls, Hall & Oates, Wu-Tang, U2, Snoop, TSO, and Paramore. Those is to name a few of all my favorite bands that are on this website. I've owned t-shirts from all those artists throughout my life. Now I know to go here only. All officially licensed merchandise. Check out Rockabilia Instagram. Also go to rockabilia.com and use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off. That's rockabilia.com. Use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off your purchases. Thank you to Rockabilia for being our new sponsor. Welcome to OLLC fam. As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality. It's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them as a sponsor of my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies so you can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just store a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies. And one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading the word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth. Welcome to the One Life a Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today I have a very, very special guest. a big and important part of my life, Mr. Timmy Chunks. Thank you for being here.
No, it's my pleasure.
I got some information to tell you. Is that today is the first time ever that I found out your real last name. I've only known you for fucking like 40 years. I found out your last name is McArdle, correct?
That is
and you're
correct.
Irish.
I am.
But it's so crazy. And also you have a cousin that was in Orphan Annie. Is this true?
Yeah. Broadway.
Holy shit. It's so crazy when you think you know somebody for so many years, and then you find out like what? And I've always known you as Chunks. Like
Right.
half the people we know, I only know them by their nicknames.
Yeah, of course.
And some of the people I don't even know their government name because they're so crazy. But you know what I mean? It's like I've always known you as Timmy Chunks, but then
Yeah.
crazy, man. So you were on Original Pod. It was many, many years ago, 5 years ago. I did something called 1988 Queens. It was a whole like chapter of my life, but we did it on the phone, and I'm psyched to have you here in person.
Stoked to be here.
How are you doing, brother? You good?
I'm doing pretty good, yeah.
Life's good?
You know, life, look, I mean, I could go on for an hour about how much life sucks. Honestly, right? It's like, oh, how you doing? Life is good, right?
Yeah.
All the shit, put it to the side. It's like, you know, I was just in New York last weekend, saw a bunch of friends. It was awesome. So
Yeah, they look like a beautiful show.
it really was.
So many great bands. I know you ran the whole stage and stuff?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was a great night.
Yeah, that's cool.
Everybody involved, right? Christian McKnight, Stormy Shepherd, Life of Agony, Municipal Waste,
Killing Time,
Killing
VOD.
Time, Crown of Thorns. Everybody involved. Warren Lee was huge help. Maylin.
Oh, they're running it. Yeah,
You know,
So
Maylin
good.
Kohler, Pete was there. You know, it was an awesome night.
Yeah, it's amazing how like the whole dysfunctional family of hardcore, are the stuff we grew up, all the people we love, all the ball breaking, all the tough love. When it comes down to somebody going through it, everybody really comes together for that person. You know, it's beautiful.
Yeah, you know, and it's when the whole announcement first came out about Lou being sick.
Yeah,
And they put up the what's the page?
GoFundMe.
The GoFundMe. Thank you. When they put up the GoFundMe, I remember just watching it grow, and I was talking with a friend of mine, and I was like, this is just proof
yeah.
of like, you know, like you sing about family, right? It's
Yeah.
like, this is just proof that it's family. And Lou,
So true.
if you've ever met Lou, and I'm sure a lot of people who listen to your podcast have,
Yes.
everyone will attest that he is one of the nicest guys ever. So I was like
Yes.
so excited, you know, to watch that happen. And then when Stormy asked if I was available to help out with the show, I was like, absolutely.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, that thing grew fast too,
Yeah.
man. It was incredible. And it seems like he's being like the videos he's posting, super positive but funny in his own kind of way, like making fun of how he looks and
Yeah.
just being that, because the whole thing is the mental is really a big part of the whole. Because I have another friend going through it as well, and he's so positive. He's always posting about his chemo and just all this stuff, and just like you just like there for them. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, so.
I can't even imagine. To totally change the subject before we get into your life, you also have one of the best hairlines in hardcore, man. Every time I see you, always have like a new haircut. Your fucking hairline's like growing forward. It's amazing. There's so many of us that are bald in the hardcore scene. You've always had like a good hairline. It's crazy.
I appreciate
Some of your
that.
family have that or something. It comes from your
You know,
grandparents.
honestly, I mean, it had to be my dad. My dad had a good head of hair, and it's funny. I was back in New York for one of my aunts passed away last summer, and I went back, and you know, very, you know, Irish Catholic, you know,
Yeah.
big wake, you know, a couple of days a wake, funeral. But after the wake, family all goes out and has dinner. And one of my other aunts comes up to me and she goes, "Oh, I was expecting your hair to be green or blue or something, right?" Because that's what she remembers. And
Yeah.
I was like, "No." And she touches my hair and she's like, "But you dye this, right?" And I was like, "No,
You don't dye it?
no,
Holy
no."
shit,
And she's
bro.
like, "You dye it." So I'm kind of laughing about it. And I was staying with my younger sister, and I go, "Hey, Maureen," I go, "Aunt Pat thinks I dye my hair." She goes, "Yeah, we all think that."
Oh my God.
I was like,
dude.
"What?"
So you really have any gray hair, huh?
I have very little. It comes in on my face. If I let my facial
Yeah.
hair grow, it's all gray.
Yeah,
but
I got more on my face than my hair. That's crazy
Yeah.
though. Damn. It's pretty interesting.
well, yeah, I'm lucky.
How your family's good?
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
both your parents still here?
No, both parents were gone.
Oh wow. How long ago was that?
My mom passed in 17, and my dad in 19.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Sorry for that, man. And your brother's still here?
Yep.
How's his hairline? Your brother's doing good?
Their hairline's fine, yeah.
For the listeners, I'll rewind a little bit. Obviously, we'll get back to Queens, Flushing, Queens, how we met, all that stuff. But yeah, meeting your brother, moving in with you, he was on the couch eating pizza and all that stuff. It's his first time meeting him. But your brother's doing good now?
Yeah, he's doing as good as could be expected.
Yeah. Were you guys into the same stuff kind of growing up? Did he get you into his stuff? Who's older?
Oh, my brother's older than
me.
Yeah.
Like, was he into punk rock and stuff first?
No.
No. You got into it first.
Yeah. No one in my family was really into punk rock. One of my older sisters was working with a couple of guys who were, I guess, they went to NYU.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they went to NYU, but they definitely were like Noise the Show and Oi the Show. They used to, so those were the guys who like turned me on to that, the NYU radio station.
Yeah, okay.
I want to say it was like Thursday nights, I think it was on, 10 to midnight or 10 to 2 or something like that. It was on late.
Yeah.
On a weeknight. But they were like, oh no, it was a Halloween party. My sister was having a Halloween party and I went dressed as a punk.
Sick.
And these two guys were like, oh, what are you? And I was like, I'm a punk. And they were like, oh, you like punk? And I was like, yeah, like I knew the Ramones.
Yeah.
Dead Kennedys. I was,
yeah.
Sex Pistols.
All the classics.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, oh, you got to check out this radio station.
And that was it.
And that was it. Like sitting in my garage with the cassette waiting to hit record.
Damn. And how did you find those bands? Just through
through that radio station.
No, Ramones and stuff like that.
Oh, the Ramones.
I mean, they're from New York. It's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they were friends or something.
Guys I was hanging out with at I used to hang out at a place called Eutectic.
Yeah.
A parking lot that we used to hang out in.
Sick.
Right. Every
always a parking lot.
Always a parking lot. Some of the guys I hung out with there, like we all got into the Sex Pistols, Dead Kennedys, Ramones. We got into all that around the same time.
And then skateboarding around the same time too?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly. That was our soundtrack.
Went hand in hand.
Yeah.
All those soundtracks was even the Bones Brigade with all that.
The first Bones Brigade video. Forget
Brigade.
It's so good.
Faction, all that stuff. And was really a thriving skate scene in Queens at that time or anything?
I don't know if I'd say it was thriving. There was like a group of us. It was myself, Jay Bird, Joe Sticks. Tommy Sherlock. A couple of other guys.
Did Jason Crackdown skate?
Jason Crackdown did skate. Okay. Yeah. But he was out in Long Island.
Long Island's different.
Right. Yeah. So I didn't meet Jason until later on.
Yeah. So you got into skating, all that, and then how were you in school? Were you like a good kid in school?
I was a great kid in school, like good grades and all that, until my junior year of high school, which coincides with kind of the music and getting heavier into skating and heavier into the music, and it was just like, fuck all of this.
So you stopped going, basically.
More or less, yeah. And I remember it was the last. So I went to Catholic high school. I went to a private school.
Okay.
Right. All of my 7 brothers and sisters, all 8 of us.
Damn.
Parents sent us all to private school, and I remember 2 weeks left in my junior year, so 11th grade. 2 weeks left. I get called down to the dean's office, and I walk in, and my mom's sitting there, and on the desk is this stack, 4-inch high stack of detention notes that I had forged my mom's name on that I had gotten all year.
Holy shit, dude!
So I come in, I sit down, my mom's pissed, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just sitting there, and basically the end of the conversation, the dean just looks at my mom and goes, "We think it would be best if Timothy didn't come back next year."
Holy shit, this is like a movie, dude.
So I was like, my mom was all pissed.
Oh man, did you get in trouble? Was your mom strict?
Yeah, my mom was definitely like. My dad worked all the time. He was an alcoholic. So when he wasn't working, he was at the bar.
Yeah.
Just he wasn't home. He wasn't home. Excuse me.
So your mom was holding it down, trying to hold it down.
Yeah, my mom was trying to hold it down. So, she was strict. Obviously I was in trouble. I still had to go to school for the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
But I didn't have to go to class. They made me sit in the freaking like auditorium.
So
and have like, they were like, oh, you're in school suspension or something.
Okay.
I was just like, oh my God.
So you couldn't go back to the following year.
So then I had to go and enroll in the public school.
And how was that? Like going from private to public, was it a big change?
Oh my God! Like growing up, going to private school, all you know about public school and all you hear about public school is they don't care.
Okay.
Right? So my first semester of 12th grade of my senior year, I was like, they don't give a shit if I'm here or not. So I just never went.
Damn.
Me and my friend Brian Mitchell, we would just cut every day. He had gotten kicked out of Malloy, and I got kicked out of Holy Cross at the same time. So literally the first semester of the school year, I failed every class.
Damn, dude.
Because I just never went. I was like, they don't give a shit.
It's no show, yeah.
And so like something clicked inside me. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I got to get a high school diploma.
Yes.
So for the second semester, I had to go to school. I had to go zero period, which was like before homeroom, like before your first class.
Yeah.
Go all day there, and then I took a bus across town to another school to make up credits.
Damn.
And then at the end of the year, I still had to go to summer school after my senior year to get my diploma.
But you got it.
But I got it, yeah.
Damn. Were you going to shows at that time too?
Absolutely.
Like going to shows super young?
Yeah.
You remember your first show?
Yeah, actually I do.
What was it?
It was Circle Jerks, Broken Bones, Murphy's Law.
Damn.
And oh crap. Actually,
was that Group Sex? Group Sex tour or no? Another album.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Me and Devil went.
The Boosty
our
show.
First show.
Devil, John Turner, shout out.
Yeah.
Damn. What year was that? What would that have been?
That would have been New Year's Eve of 1984.
Damn. That might have been around Group Sex, to be honest. I forget when that came out. Or maybe Wild on the Streets or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, so.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was our first
concert,
show.
Any kind of concert?
No, my first concert
some rock
was
shit?
Yeah, some rock shit.
What'd you see?
The Who with The Clash and David Johansen.
Dude, that's a sick one.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Where was that at?
Shea Stadium.
Dude. Clash was on that? Wow, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Was that the only time you saw The Clash?
Unfortunately, yeah.
So you saw them though. That's
so
cool.
I was supposed to go see them with Jaybird, actually. Jaybird and Joe Sticks, I think. We were supposed to go see him. They played at St. John's University.
Wow. Dude.
In Queens. And I was in trouble. Like I was like grounded or something. I wasn't able to go. Yeah, I was on lockdown.
Damn. When did you start playing? Did you start playing music in high school or no?
Yeah, I was playing drums.
Okay.
So I was playing drums like throughout high school.
Just different bands? Or high school band?
Just like jamming with friends from school.
Yeah.
Like, until...
Playing covers and shit?
Yeah, basically. Like Deep Purple, Jimi Hendrix, things like that. Just, that was with this kid in my class. I knew him since like 7th or 8th grade, actually. So
you started playing drums early?
Yeah. I was in a marching corps for a while.
And that's what inspired you to play drums and music? Okay, gotcha. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so that was cool. A lot of fun.
What about sports? You play sports?
I played soccer. Growing up, I played soccer. Like summers, like all year long, I'd play soccer. In the winter, we had indoor soccer, and like I played all year, all the time. And then in 8th grade, I tore the ligaments in my left knee for the second time.
Damn.
And the doctor was like, "Oh, you can't play soccer anymore. You're really gonna fuck yourself up." So I started skating more.
Yeah, that was better for it.
Seemed like the right thing to do.
Yeah. So street skating. I think we went to a half pipe out there once when I was out there with you back in the day.
Yeah.
Were there many ramps back then?
There were very few ramps. It was crazy. Like you'd find them. There was one somewhere out on Long Island. I can't really remember where it was. Like I think Joe Sticks found it.
Yeah.
That was kind of in the middle of the woods, actually.
Damn.
Like had to take the Long Island Railroad, get off, and then like skate like 2 miles up
Crazy,
this road.
Man. Yeah.
And then take this path into the woods, and it was just like 16-foot wide half pipe. It was like,
damn,
what the hell?
That's amazing. But nothing really in Queens like that, right?
No, not really. We built a mini ramp. Jordan, Jay, me, Tom, Joe, like we all built a mini ramp, and we had it at that was at Tommy Sherlock's house. We had it in his driveway,
That's cool.
for a while, and then his mom was like, "This thing can't be here."
Yeah.
So we took it apart. We moved it over to Jordan's house, put it back together. It was there for few weeks before Jordan's mom was like, "This can't be here."
Damn.
So we're like, "Oh, geez." So I think it went to Joe Stix's house before his mom said, "Nope, you can't have it here." And we ended up actually moving it under a the Cross Island Expressway.
Wow.
Over in Bayside, the Cross Island Expressway. There's a walkway that goes over the expressway.
Yeah.
That takes you over to like the marina, and you go across the pedestrian walkway, and on the other side it was like, I can't remember the name of the park, but there's a park over there.
Put it over there.
We actually took it completely apart and put it inside the we were literally it's so like you walk up the ramp,
Yeah.
and then you turn to go across the freeway on this walkway.
Yeah.
But it was big, like, so that corner where the ramp comes up and meets to where it goes across the freeway,
Yeah.
that was like a big, like 15 by 15 foot column
Got you. And you put it there.
that was hollow. It was like made of wood, so we were
Wow.
able to put it inside there.
Holy shit.
It was nuts. It was pretty nuts.
And nobody fucked with it, really?
People fucked with it because
Yeah.
you get, like, homeless people and
yeah.
other skaters or people would find out about it. So
It's such a random place.
it was insane. I don't remember who found it, honestly.
Crazy, dude.
But they're like, "Oh, I got a spot."
Damn. It's crazy.
It was nuts.
What was so you graduated, obviously.
Yeah.
And what are you doing at that time? Were you working jobs during high school?
Yeah, on and off.
Yeah.
Dishwasher.
Yeah.
Working at the garden center that my mom worked at.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever odd jobs I could find, really. Nothing serious. Knew I was going to go into the electricians union because both of my older brothers did.
That's right.
They both graduated high school and went into the electricians union.
So that you knew that was going to happen no matter what. Almost.
Yeah, I knew that's where I was headed.
Even if you wanted to play music at that time, you probably weren't thinking about a career in music or anything, or just trying to play music at that point.
Let me ask you, when you started H2O, were you thinking you'd have a career in music?
No, you're right. Good point.
You know what I mean?
Especially back then, dude.
Right. It's like
it's a great point.
It was a thing. It was like, oh, it'd be fun to have a band. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
You never really think like, oh, this is going to be my career.
True.
Not when you're 18, 19, 20 years old.
Even though you loved playing drums or skating, you're like, yeah, this is not ever going to be a profession. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like, no matter what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go into the union.
Yeah, exactly. So
were you doing electrical stuff too at a young age?
No.
Learning some stuff? No. Wow. Okay.
No, not really.
So automatically you go in school for that or something. That's what you're gonna do.
Yeah,
Grade
when you
school?
start working in the union, they put you to school.
Okay.
So it's like all on the job learning, and then you go to school as well.
Yeah. And then were there bands you played out with that weren't cover bands before Token Entry?
So just to back up just for a second, in that senior year when I went to public school, that's where I first met Pete Kohler.
Okay, got you.
So, and in turn then obviously met Lou.
Yes.
The original Alleyway crew guys, basically.
Totally.
Right? Pete, Lou,
Mike
Smegma, Richie Sip, Armand.
Yes.
Rob Echeverra, all of those guys.
Satari?
Yep. Met Craig.
Crazy,
that was
dude.
still when they were still Craig they were still Mayhem.
Yeah, Mayhem. Okay.
Right.
Wow.
And then they had to change the name to like New York City Mayhem.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they were Mayhem first, and then they had to change the name because some other band gave them a cease and desist or something.
Some other random Mayhems. Okay.
Yeah, and then but so like that was that summer right after senior year. It's like we're all hanging out. I used to, before Sick of It All was Sick of It All, they were General Chaos.
Okay. I think I remember that. Yeah.
Right. So they were General Chaos with a K and an Anarchy A.
Sick. That's a gem right there. Wow.
And I used to, so like I would jam with those guys in the basement and stuff.
With General Chaos? Damn. Okay.
Yeah, General Chaos. And then I actually played a show. This is like, fuck, nobody's ever going to remember this, but
Here we go, dude.
Played a show at the Right Track Inn.
Remember that spot?
I played drums for SFA for one show.
No way.
Yeah,
Wow.
when Mike Bullshit was the singer, like
Wow, dude.
early on the days of SFA.
That's crazy.
And I quit on stage after our set.
Why?
Because he booked the show and we weren't ready, and I was like, dude, no, we got to practice more. We're not ready for a show. And we did the show, and like literally, I walked up to him right after our set, and I was like, I quit.
That was it. First
That was it.
Damn, dude. Wow, that's crazy. That's the only other band then, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. And then
wasn't Anthony Killing Time in Token Entry?
Yeah, Anthony was in Killing Time.
You met Commonality back then too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Queens. Yeah.
So in '86, Token Entry went out to California and did a handful of shows with Anthony. And then when they got back from that is when Anthony left the band.
Okay.
And then they were like, oh, we're trying out singers. And I remember at the time, I think I was living with Chuck at the time. Because Ludacris used to play all the time out on Long Island.
Gotcha.
All these different places. So I was hanging out with those guys a lot.
Yeah.
Kind of roadieing for them, helping them out here and there,
Mhm.
you know. But I was living with Chuck at the time. I think I was living with him. And I guess Ernie, I didn't even really know Ernie. I met Ernie and Johnny at the Pyramids.
Pyramids, yeah. That's where people skated back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You brought me there, yeah.
First time I ever met him was at the Pyramids, and they were like, oh yeah, our band's playing Sunday at CB's. And I was like, oh, cool. I'll be there, you know?
Yeah.
I walked out.
When they played?
When they played, I was like, oh, this guy's boring.
Oh my God, dude. And that was Token Entry?
That was Token Entry, yeah.
Damn,
yeah,
dude.
And I remember Devil coming out afterwards. He's like, oh, you should have hung around. They sprayed the whole crowd with silly string. And I was like, whatever.
Good.
I was like, yeah, whatever.
That's crazy. 'Cause you were a drummer. You weren't even a singer. You just tried out. Basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I tried out for Straight Ahead.
You did?
Yeah, I tried out for
Wow.
playing drums for Straight Ahead.
Okay.
When they were looking for a drummer. But fuck, I couldn't play. I mean, fuck, Tommy Carroll. Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's right.
So fast. Like, I was like, fuck.
Damn.
But yeah.
That's cool. How many people tried out for Token Entry? Was it a couple people, do you know?
I don't know how many. I know that Squirm. Do you know Squirm? You gotta know Squirm. Yeah, Squirm.
Yeah.
Paul, what the fuck's his last?
Paul Sabert, man.
Yeah, so I know
Shout out
Squirm
to
tried out.
Dude. Yeah, he tried out this. Wow.
Yeah, he
dude.
tried out. We might have actually tried out on the same day.
That's crazy, dude.
And
Damn.
and I guess before I had tried out, Ernie was talking with Chuck from Ludacris, Chuck Valley, and he was like, hey, can Timmy sing? And Chuck goes, I told him, I don't know if you could sing, but you could imitate any singer on the scene. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess. So, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so then I went and tried out.
And so did you have to sing one of their songs or something?
Yeah.
Okay,
we did a couple songs, recorded it all, did it all at Don
Really?
Fury. Yeah, I wonder where those are. I wonder where those tapes
dude.
are.
That'd be sick. So you made some demos, you trying out kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy crap. And there was Ernie from Queens too?
All of them.
Okay, all of them, yeah.
Ernie,
yeah.
Johnny, Mickey. They were all in Astoria.
Yeah, dude, Astoria. So, and that was the rest is history. Then you make the record, basically, yeah.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Damn. And how old are you then? Because that came out I think that came out
19.
That came out 87. From
19.
The Streets. Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah.
And that's your first band, first everything, and then you make an album.
Pretty much, yeah.
Hawker Records.
Well, no,
Was it Hawker?
No, From Beneath the Streets came out.
Oh,
It was
that's
on
right.
Positive Force.
Positive Force, my bad.
Yeah.
Second was Hawker through Roadrunner. Yeah. Positive Force, damn. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know where I was when I heard that record. I must have been obviously in Maryland at the time. And then somehow, I don't know if we were in contact or we had, I don't know if I met you yet. No.
Nope, not yet.
I met you at the Rollins show at the Marble Bar.
Yeah.
You guys played with him. And we connected there. I was a massive fan of Token Entry and had the tattoo, all that shit. And then we met at that show and became pen pals way before the internet. All this shit.
Oh, yeah.
So
Pen
fucking
pals.
crazy, bro. And I was like 17.
Can we take a quick break? Sorry.
You gotta pee? This is one of the reasons why I don't film this podcast, because so many people have taken piss breaks or any kind of break, and you'd have to fucking edit so much. So, yeah, always take a piss break. Because we're always pounding liquid death on this podcast. So yeah, we become pen pals, and then
Yeah, pen pals.
somehow, some way, you like basically, just move here. Like when I was turning 18 the following year, 88, and I fucking Dave Weiskopf drove me from Maryland to New York with my brother Todd. I left Shelly Shackley, my first love, on a winding road, and I got dropped off at CBGB's and the Token Entry show. I'd been to New York one time when I was a kid with my mom, my Uncle Ray, and had all my bags, and I saw Token Entry play at the show, and it was fucking crazy, scary, sweaty, disgusting, smelly, but beautiful, and it was just...
That was your first show at CB?
Yeah, dude.
Was it really?
Yeah, bro. It was you guys. I got dropped off there. And I think I'm going to try to do a stage dive or something, or that was later on when we were going to shows. I smashed my head on the thing, my head was bleeding, I still have a scar on my forehead. But that was just it. I went back to your house and then fucking met your brother. He's like smoking weed, eating pizza on the couch. I'm like, okay, I'm living here.
You know what he's doing right now?
What?
Smoking weed, eating pizza on the couch.
Awesome. Yeah, and so I moved there and I didn't really have a thing set up. I think I had nothing set up. I had to find a job. I worked at Myers Research Center with Arthur. Got me the job on by the library on 40-something Street.
Oh my God, yeah, doing the phone calls.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I worked there for a while with
Okay,
it, or
you
the
did?
other. Yeah, because it was Arthur's sister, Maria.
Yeah, Maria, that's right.
Yeah, Maria and Michelle, Johnny's girlfriend, worked there. So
You're
Michelle
correct.
and Maria both got Arthur the job, got me a job.
Got me the job.
Yeah.
I was inter-office coordinator. I would order all the stuff.
That job was amazing because I hated it. So the way this place worked was back in the 80s, if you went out to a bar one night and let's say Bacardi had a new rum, they would you would fill out a card and then we would call you to ask you what you thought of the rum.
Okay.
Right. So basically it was telemarketing is what it was. Right.
Yeah.
So we were trying to find out what worked and what didn't work, but I hated being on the phone.
It was brutal.
So
dude.
I would never call anybody. I would literally just sit there and read. And I can't remember that there were two women that were in charge of the office. I can't remember their names. But they were awesome. And
yeah.
And then they had a boss that one dude, he was big, super basically flamboyant guy.
Mm-hmm.
And
I might know his name, dude. Me and Arthur text about him sometimes.
I can't remember his name.
I forgot his name too, man. He was so nice though.
But for some reason, they would let me not work the phones, and he would be like, "Oh, I need you to go up to 97th Street and pick up this piece of art I bought." And I'd be like, "All right, cool. See you later."
No way.
That's literally all I would do. I would go get
Wow.
reams of paper from copy whatever place down the street.
That's crazy.
I'd run the copy machine. I never. I
Such a
worked the
punishing
phone
job to do to people call.
such one. Oh God, it's the worst. Hi, yeah, you were at you were at Kissinger's bar 2 nights ago. We wanted to know what you thought about this. And it was oh my God, worst thing ever.
I wonder how much the money was per hour back then. It's probably really not so good.
It was enough to pay our rent.
No, totally. Yeah, for
You
sure.
know what I mean?
I
It's
wonder how much our rent was too. It was me and your brother and Queen.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, yeah, crazy. So that record's out, and then whatever, that's next year, because Jaybird comes out then too in '88, correct? Oh yeah, Jaybird comes out. Yeah. Another amazing. I was trying to think what other bands were kind of skate bands back then. Underdog obviously skated.
Right.
Was that before Token Entry?
I would say
Underdog.
the same time.
Same time, yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Russell
around the same
skated,
time.
and they had the skate shirts and all that stuff.
Richie skated too. I mean.
Oh yeah, okay.
But Russell was the skater in the band. Just like in Token Entry, I was the skater in the band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's everybody skated, but I was the skater.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You had the tricks and you fucking...
Yeah, I was the more dedicated skating per se.
Was your favorite trick back then?
Boneless.
Boneless is the best.
Boneless.
Dude. Yeah.
Boneless is
This
so
is way
good.
before all the crazy tricks now. Tray flips, all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
Rails, stairs, all that stuff.
Yeah, there were no if you ollied down 3 stairs, you were oh my God,
Pretty
that was
sick.
that was sick.
Did Gestapo skate? Because Gestapo wore knee pads on stage
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you rocked the knee pads on stage.
That
was hard.
That first show, I remember. I don't know if it was that first show or that was at the Rock Hotel when it was down on Jane Street, down on the west side. And
that was the first show with you singing?
No, that was the first show I ever went to. That me and Devil went to.
Okay.
So, but it was. I don't know if it was that first show or the next show I went to over at the Rock Hotel. I remember Jimmy was skating like acid dropping off a loading dock around the corner and stuff. It was really cool. It was rad.
Sick.
Yeah.
It was wrecked with knee pads.
Yeah, exactly.
You were sliding on your knees and shit.
In combat boots. He was, Jimmy was wearing combat boots and skating. It was like sick.
But then and also the Jack skate team, that was a West Coast thing, right?
Jack's was a West Coast thing, yeah. Still
and you were
is.
like one of the only few East Coast cats part of it, probably?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a Cali thing or something, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that still around?
Absolutely.
It is? Wow.
Yeah.
You used to have a sick cut-off jean jacket with the painting and shit in the back,
I don't know what
dude.
the hell ever happened to that. I wish I still had it.
It was so cool, though, man. And nobody East Coast really, it was like a Warriors kind of vibe to it. Nobody's really rocking that shit.
Yeah, it was rad.
So that's still like
had
a
that.
crew kind of skate thing still?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
Where is it based out of? Just somewhere out here?
It's Northern Cali mostly.
Okay.
Most of them are up in like Bay Area, Petaluma, up around there. They still have a reunion every year. A bunch of them are like out in Texas now and stuff.
Pretty sick, man.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite board back then? Like your first setup or?
I mean, my first setup, like, technical first real setup was a Zorlak Big Boys model.
Great.
Yeah,
Classic
I love that.
shit. Yeah, it's a big motherfucker. Yeah.
And then after that, it was just, whatever I could get my hands on, really.
Yeah. Was there like skate shops back then?
Rat City.
Rat City, okay. Where was that at? Queens?
No, it was Rat City? What was it called? It was in, no, there was nothing in Queens.
Okay.
Nothing in Queens. That was in Manhattan.
Okay. But not many skate shops. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, I think it was
That's before
Rat
Supreme
City.
Store and all that shit, dude.
Oh, God, yeah. There was none of that. None of that.
And then,
That came around, a few years later.
Because I know Brian Goldstein worked at some kind of snowboard skate shop on Broadway later on, too.
But before he worked there, he worked at, what was the spot down on down in Soho that he worked
That
at?
might have been it, though. I forgot what it was called, though. There wasn't really spots, though. I don't know.
Oh, I'm drawing a blank.
Anyway. So when Beneath the Streets comes out, do you guys have a following at that time? Like you guys starting to get a name for yourself? Obviously you made a record and doing some, not really tours, but like.
That Token Entry's biggest flaw is that we never toured. That was like.
Stayed on the East Coast area only?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
What's the furthest you guys went?
Well, on Jaybird.
Oh yeah.
We had a full U.S. tour booked.
Okay.
Us with direct support from Affirmative Action, who were from upstate New York.
Remember that name? Yeah.
And so we left to go on tour. With me in the band, the furthest west we ever made it was Detroit. We played the Motor City Metal Fest. Wow. It was us, Agnostic Front, Halloween.
Sick.
I can't remember what other bands were. Some other metal bands on that bill. And so we're out on tour for Jaybird, and we're in West Palm Beach, Florida. So we made it down the eastern seaboard. Okay. And then we broke up in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, everybody just went home?
We all went home together.
Not talking to each other?
Not talking.
Damn, that sucks. And that was it?
And that was it, yeah.
Holy shit. Was Jaybird a pretty big record for you guys? Do you remember back then?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we also had a so before we did that US tour, we had a European tour booked that the label had set up for us.
Yeah, because Roadrunner's huge over there. Yeah.
Right, Roadrunner's huge. And they're like, all right, we got to get you over to Europe. And we're like, all right, cool. So they had a bunch of dates booked for us. And as it was getting closer and closer, dates kept falling off. They're like, oh, we lost this date, but you still have this. And it was like we were going to go for like 6 weeks and play like 3 shows or something and make no money. And so we were just like, this isn't making any sense.
And you were in the union at that point, right?
At that point, I was in the union, yeah.
And everybody had regular jobs at that point, correct?
Oh, actually, I wasn't in the union yet.
You weren't yet?
After when the band broke up is when I joined the union.
Okay. You never quit the union for the band, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Never did. Yeah.
So smart, dude.
So I was doing the music thing and actually was supposed to join the union right before we left for the U.S. tour.
Okay.
And I remember my uncle was like, because my uncle's the one who got me into the union as it used to be, right? Like
Yeah.
you need to know somebody. And he was like, all right, so you're going to start on here. And I was like, I can't. And he's like, what do you mean you can't? I was like, I got to push it back 8 weeks. He's like, I don't know if there's going to be any work for you. And I was like, I got to take my chances. I'm going on tour with my band. I got to do this, you know?
Damn, dude.
So we get down. I'm gone for 10 days or whatever. We're in West Palm Beach, Florida, and Johnny and Mickey basically come to me and Ernie, and they're like, we're going home. We're not doing this anymore. And we're in Johnny's van, and it was like, oh, shit, okay.
Awkward.
So it's so awkward.
What was the reasons? Nobody didn't want to do it? It was just a
That's,
bunch of shit. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever
How old
the
are you guys?
reasons.
You guys are pretty young at that point anyway.
20.
Yeah, dude. Crazy.
Except for Mickey. Mickey was probably close to 30. Mickey was like almost 10 years older than everybody else. But nobody knew how old he was.
So then you guys go home and that's it.
Yeah.
And
you know,
you
Mickey had a job at Steinway & Sons Piano.
And how long was Jaybird out for?
Not very long at all.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And so you come back, those 2 records are out, and then do you guys not talk for a little while? You just go to regular lives?
Well, Ernie and I were talking.
Yeah. For a little while.
For a little while, yeah. And I think at that time, that might have been when I actually, was that when I did or after? I actually tried out for Anthrax.
No way. For real?
Yeah, they had open auditions.
For a singer?
For a singer.
Holy shit.
I think it was in late 88 or early
No
89,
way, dude.
I think. Yeah. So, like, it was some, like, total whatever horseshit thing that their label had put together, right? So they needed a singer or whatever. And so I went and I stood in line at some club. Couldn't even tell you what fucking club it was.
Wow.
And stood in line, and they were bringing people in, and you got to choose one of 4 songs. 3 of them were Anthrax songs, and I didn't know a single Anthrax song.
Wow, dude.
But the 4th song was the Got the Time, the Joe Jackson cover they did.
Good song.
And I was like, well, I know that song. So
no way, bro. You
So
weren't even a fan, really?
I had no idea who they were. I mean, I knew who they were.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say I wasn't a fan. I didn't listen to any of their music because
Yeah.
I mean, you got, at that time, it was, if you weren't hardcore,
That's it. I know, dude.
you
Set
know,
the blinders onto anything
yeah,
else.
exactly.
Yeah.
But the way my mind was working was I was like, they're a successful band. I'll get to tour.
Yeah.
If this works out, I was like, I'm sure the music's fine. I can learn to like it or whatever. But
holy crap. So
yeah,
you didn't study no songs or nothing? You just kind of rolled up?
just rolled up and went in, sang the Joe Jackson song. And they're like, thanks, next. It was
Wow.
literally like that.
Who'd they end up getting, I wonder, back then?
I forget who it was.
Holy shit. Were you nervous?
No.
Well, he's like in front of people? Like saying,
Yeah. There was like a
Wow,
crowded
dude.
bar.
It's like American
But
Idol shit.
it wasn't the band. It wasn't the guys from Anthrax playing the songs.
Okay.
It was some like hired musicians.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, so that was funny.
That's a crazy story, dude. So now you're in the union, you're just doing your living.
Now I'm in the union just working.
Everybody's working, doing their thing, and then I'm trying to think how many years it was. Oh yeah, it's only like 2 years to Way to the World though.
Yeah.
Not that long. It probably felt like forever though back then.
Yeah, it did. And and then so like Ernie, like I said, Ernie and I were talking.
Yeah.
We were talking regularly, and
He was doing, what's he do, like art, design? He does all kinds of stuff.
he does
like
all
that.
sorts of stuff.
He's super talented with that stuff. Yeah.
Crazy insane.
Yeah. So he's probably working some sort of job like that.
Yeah.
Arthur was at Myers Research, or Arthur went to GB or something at that point.
Oh yeah, Arthur was definitely in GB at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I ended up getting, and then I had to leave your place because the landlord said some shit. I remember that too.
Yeah, we got evicted from there for whatever reason.
How long did we live there for, you think? A year? Or no?
Probably less than a year.
Damn.
Less than a year, I would think.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I also remember you kind of having a heart-to-heart with me once about, I got like a Dear John letter from Shelley Shackley, how it wasn't going to work out long distance. And you kind of said, you know what, kid, you're here. This is it. You're on your own. It was I remember that, man. It was like a big brother kind of moment. So thank you for that. Like, just get over that shit. It was some tough love shit. Because that was my first love. Anyway.
Right.
So we get kicked out. I live in Arthur Smilios's fucking room on the floor or some
the closet.
Shit. That's later on. That's it.
Later on.
That's Jackson Heights later on.
Right. Yeah.
I end up going like to like the alley with the Schick House with like Devil and Craig, they called it, wherever over there. It was
Oh
like
yeah,
Carmine,
yeah.
Oh, part of Queens that was. Kind of like just like couch surfing. Yeah, then end up with the GB guys. But yeah, and then fucking crazy, man. Yeah, we got kicked out. That was wild, dude. I had all my trophies at your house.
Yes.
I had all my Thrasher magazines that I never fucking got from Dave Stein, rest in peace. He hit me up for many, many years. I have your Thrashers. I was like, fuck, I'll get 2 crates of my Thrashers. I had every single one from the 80s, bro. I never got one, dude. Fuck. It's okay. Memories. And then, yeah, so then Weight of the World happens. How does that even happen? And that's obviously that record to me, because I got a shout out on it. And I just talked to Adam Blake before this podcast. He's like, bro, tell Chunks that when I was a kid and I was going through it and living in England and going through dark times, I put Weight of the World on. It made me so fucking happy. And for people back then, that maybe that record was a little different.
It was completely different.
But for me personally, my favorite 7 Seconds album is New Wind. I love the fast shit. And I love hardcore. Obviously, I love those first records, Skins, Brains, and Guts, Crew, Walk Together. But New One to me was so fucking special, and I love that they took a chance and tried something different. And that's probably, not saying they inspired you to do that, but you went to all types of music, not just hardcore at that point, probably, maybe.
Yeah.
Or funky shit.
And that's the thing, right?
Chili Peppers.
So basically, so Ernie and I are talking, and we're like, let's do the band again, right?
Yeah.
This is, probably a year after the West Palm Beach thing. So we decided to do the band again, and at this point, Ernie's basically writing all the songs.
Okay.
Right? He's,
yeah.
Because again, he's not just a great artist and a great drummer. He's a great guitar player, a great singer.
Great songwriter too, man.
He's
yeah.
a good songwriter.
Yeah.
So Ernie's writing all the songs. At the time, Chili Peppers were huge. 24/7 Spies.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Living Color.
Damn. 24/7 Spies. Nobody mentions them anymore.
So we just, took it in a different direction. And, looking back, yeah, was it a mistake? Maybe. I don't know if mistake's the right word.
It was the time.
Yeah.
Was In Your Face out then too?
Yes, In Your Face was out then too.
Yeah.
Ernie was playing with them.
Okay.
As well,
there was like a Jersey band that was kind of funky too.
Heads Up.
Heads Up. Oh my God, that's right, dude.
Yeah, Heads Up. Oh no, Heads Up was actually from the island, Long Island.
Okay, there's another one.
That would have been the Bouncing Souls.
Yeah, it was Bouncing Souls, but another one. There's another one out there too. I remember. I can see the guy's dreads. Was it SO36? Their name. I forget their name. I don't know if they were funky or not. It was another band. I swear, dude. I'll come up with it later. I know the Bouncing Souls. Their names from the Bouncing. Yeah. Interesting. Because they were kind of funky too when they came out.
They were extremely funky.
And obviously, Bouncing Souls is on the bottom of Doc Martens.
Yeah.
Yes. Damn. Yeah, but funk was all the fucking rage. As you said, 24/7 Spies, Living Color, fucking.
Right. Chili, so.
And you probably always loved Fishbone too.
Of course.
Which is fucking one of the greatest.
So, so that's the direction we went in. And it was well received.
It was.
Like there were obviously there's always going to be haters.
Totally.
Right? People are going to be like, oh, this new stuff sucks. And it's like, well, sorry. We're having fun.
Exactly.
I
love when a band takes a chance and they do it. They want to make themselves happy as well and try something,
And Token Entry's biggest failure is that we never toured. Like before I was in the band, they went to they didn't tour out to California. They drove to California, played some shows, and drove back. Did nothing in between.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, they never toured. We tried to tour. We got down to Florida, and then we broke up.
Damn. That's crazy.
And so then, we had the European thing before that where we canceled before anything had happened.
So never went to Europe.
Never went to Europe. Weight of the World came out again on Hawker.
Hawker Records.
Or was it
Hawker?
Was it Hawker or did it change again?
I don't know, man. It could have been. It's a Roadrunner though, wasn't it?
It was still, yes, a subdivision of Roadrunner of some sort. I don't know if it was Hawker or if it was. I want to say it was a different imprint, but whatever. Weight of the World came out, and we were playing, right? We were doing shows, and we'd get down to DC, go up to Boston.
Yeah.
The easy places to reach on a weekend because we all had jobs.
I know.
Right?
Which is something that's like an underlying theme with like people I know that actually grew up in New York who are in bands. Like Sib always had a job. He worked at a laundromat, lived in Queens. He always hustled and he always was doing things and tattoo shops and everything. And he always had a job through every success of every one of his bands. And same with you, like that work ethic, that growing up there. I don't know if it's a New York thing or just, I don't know. I think it's really awesome. You guys always had a skill, a trade to fall back on. You know what I mean? Because Anthony Cominale told me on the podcast, like, his biggest regret wasn't quitting like Wall Street and just going for it. He wished he kind of went for it like all his friends did. He just kind of played it safe and kept that job with security and stability, which is smart, because there's no retirement in hardcore and punk rock in these bands. You know what I'm saying?
No, I absolutely.
So like he's told me like I kind of played it safe, and sometimes I wish I just went for it like other bands did, but at the same time like he's got a fucking 401k, whatever that shit is. You know what I mean? Like you got real adult shit.
Yeah.
But you always had a job, which is awesome. And you
always
had
a job. Yeah. And so
didn't count on like this is a record that's gonna happen. Like none of that shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I yeah, absolutely.
You get caught up in the fucking fantasy and the fucking label shit too.
Right. It was like whatever. We have a record out, which when you're a kid, it's like you get to put a record out. You're like, that's amazing.
Yeah. And I put 3 out.
And you go play a show somewhere, and there's kids who are singing your songs, and you're like, holy shit, this is insane.
Yeah.
This is like it's almost unimaginable.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's hard.
It's crazy.
It's hard for me to put myself back and understand what it was like before that. Right.
Yeah.
It's hard to like get back to that mindset where it's like, what if I do this and someone likes it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because at the time, that's all we were doing. We were just like, what if we do this and somebody likes it?
Mm-hmm. And you got to go play shows, too. It wasn't internet, none of that shit. Just go play word of mouth. Or this new band, go check them out.
Yeah.
All that shit.
So we were playing shows on Way to the World. We had Richie on guitar and my friend Matt Citarella, who I knew from the Eutectic days.
Nice.
Private high school, like playing bass.
That's cool.
Matt was an amazing bass player.
The other guys weren't down to come back at that point.
We never Ernie and I never asked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Respect.
So we'll leave that there,
That's fine. That's
and
great.
the listeners can figure that out on their own.
Totally.
So we've got it's Richie, Matt, Ernie, and myself, and we're playing shows, all over Pennsylvania, Lancaster,
all the spots,
Philly, Allentown,
oof, scary ass Allentown,
DC, up to Boston, Connecticut, Yukon. We played up at the University of Connecticut, which is like way north up there somewhere. So we're playing all like the local spots, Rhode Island. It's local for New York City bands, right? So, Richie leaves the band. We lose Richie. Actually, Mike P-Head, Mikey, Slipper Clutch, Mike.
Mike Baton.
Mike Baton.
Shout out to Mike Baton,
so
bro.
Mike Baton. So it was Richie, Mike Baton, me, and Ernie.
That's right. He was in Token Entry.
Before we recorded, Way to the World. Okay. That was the lineup.
Damn. Shout out to Mikey B. Legend.
So Mike leaves the band, and we get Matt. Ernie's like, who are we going to get? He's like, I don't know who we're going to get. We got to get a bass player. Who are we going to get? Mike's a great bass player. Who are we going to get? And I was like, my buddy Matt, he's amazing. He can play. He's like, he can do it. So we bring Matt in. We record the record. We do Way to the World.
Yeah.
And it's, we're all stoked. We got Dr. No producing it.
Ooh, that's right, dude.
and Dr. No has production credits on Jaybird. He really didn't produce much on Jaybird.
Okay.
It's
cool to have his name on there though, because Dr. No.
Yeah, exactly. So, but so on Way to the World, Dr. No was in there. He was producing. He was in there like every day. We're in the studio.
That's cool.
And stuff. Record the record. Richie leaves the band, and we get Matt's brother.
Okay.
Mike, Matt's younger brother, Mike, who's an amazing guitar player, to come in.
Okay.
So we're playing shows. Everything's going great. We're like, this is awesome. We get a European tour booked.
Finally.
So this is 1990. We're like, European tour is booked. I'm like, cool. We're starting in Munich. We're going here. We're going, like, dates are booked. Like, it's great. We're going to be there for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Exciting, man. Yeah.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
2 days before we were supposed to fly, the Gulf War started.
Holy shit.
And the first Gulf War, Desert Storm, I think. Right?
Maybe, yeah.
91.
Yeah.
And Matt, like literally, we had our plane tickets. And Matt and his brother Mike they call me and they go, "We're not going." And I said, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
They go, "There's a war going on." I was like, "Nowhere near where we're Germany. It's not nowhere near where we're gonna be."
Holy shit! So
and they were literally scared of like terrorist attacks.
Damn.
So and at that point, like I remember calling Ernie, and I was like, "That's it. We're just done." I was like, "We can't do this ananymore."
Keep canceling, booking, all
we
that
tried, and
shit. Oh man, that sucks, dude.
Yeah, years later, 20 years later, 2009, I want to say, I was working for Billy Talent.
Okay.
The drum tech for Billy Talent, this guy named Stilly, awesome dude, awesome dude. I show up the first day at work. Stilly comes up and he's like, "Hey, mate, Stilly, yeah, nice to meet you." You know, thick English accent. He's like, "Me and my friends drove 8 hours to see that first show that you guys never showed up at."
Oh,
I was like,
shit.
"Oh fuck."
Damn, dude.
He had token entry tattoo. He had Jaybird on his back. Like I was like, "Oh my god."
That's crazy. So they never got to see you over there. It's fucking nuts, dude.
Never made it over there.
That's fucking damn, man. So then after that, you just back to work and that's it.
Yeah, and then it was back to work, and I was like, "This is my life." Like I was living in a basement apartment in Maspeth that had no windows.
Jesus.
Like I had 3 cats. I was living in a basement apartment, just going to work every day, going home, going to work every day, going home.
Man.
Like hating life and resigning my life to the fact that like, all right, well, I guess I'll get back together with Molly, who was my girlfriend at the time, ex-girlfriend, whatever,
Okay.
and I was like, I guess I'm going to get back together with Molly. I'm an electrician. I'm going to get married and live on Long Island.
Wow, man.
Like that was my mindset. I was just like, that's all there is.
Damn, dude. And how long did that last before you came out here?
So that was the beginning of 91 when the band, like, when Ernie and I were just like, that's it. We can't keep doing this.
Because you end up kind of, you don't quit the unit to go on tour with bands, do you? You never quit it, right?
Never did.
You can put it on pause or something? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you start touring with like crazy bands.
Well, no, actually, I did leave. I did leave shortly after it. So
that's what I thought. Okay.
So in 91, token entry ends. I'm living in a basement apartment in Maspeth, miserable.
Sounds horrible, man. I'm sorry. It's fucking brutal.
And like emotionally, just physically, I'm just like fucking hating life.
God.
Black Train Jack is playing a show with Quicksand at the Wetlands.
Wetlands, amazing spot, dude.
Damn. Ernie talks me into going. I didn't honestly want to go.
Yeah.
That's a backstory for another time.
Yeah. Yeah, how soon did Black Train Jack come out after Token Entry? Was it a long time?
No, it wasn't long at all.
Okay.
Within a year, I would say.
Okay.
So
they never went to Europe either, I don't think. Or maybe they did.
They did.
Okay, but
they did.
One got canceled or something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
A Green Day one got canceled. Anyway, Renee said that in the podcast, so I'm not making it up. Okay, go.
So I go to the show. I'm miserable. I go to the show. Ernie talks to me. He's like, "Oh, it's going to be great. Come on out." So I go to the show. When I'm at the show, I actually don't remember going inside to see Black Train Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I was hanging out outside with Pete, Greg, Shal, and Brian from the Bouncing Souls.
Yep.
And we go in, we watch Quicksand, who were always amazing.
Amazing, dude.
It's just so fucking good.
Yes.
And Brian says, "Hey, we're having a party next weekend." He said, "We're having a party at the house next weekend in New Brunswick. You should come." And I was like, I got to work Saturday. I don't know. Maybe I'll try. I don't know. Because, again, I'm in that mindset of like, my fucking life is just being an electrician now.
Yeah.
I was like, my mindset was literally like, I'm just going to be that construction worker who's married, has a couple of kids. Like
Damn,
my mind would, like, my life was played out in my head.
Yeah.
Like, this is what it's going to be. And I remember going to work that Saturday, and I left work. I was working at JFK, living in Maspeth. Had to take the Belt Parkway around to get home, back over to my apartment. And on the Belt Parkway, if I go left, I'm going to go over the Verrazano and go to Jersey. If I go right, I'm going to go home. And I remember like literally going like, should I go? Should I not? Should I go? Should I not? Should I go? Should I not?
Yeah.
You know? And I fucking finally, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go. And I went to the Souls party and essentially never left.
Damn, dude.
I went to their party in New Brunswick. That was Saturday afternoon. And I literally didn't leave. I stayed there Sunday night, woke up Monday, drove into work, went to work, went, home, checked on the cats, took care of the cats, and just went back to Jersey.
Holy shit. And
I was doing that for almost a month.
Just hanging with them.
Sitting on the front porch of 174 Commercial Avenue.
Yeah, man, legendary spot, man. Yeah.
Me and Shal are talking, and I was, telling him, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. And he goes, just quit. And I was like, what am I going to do? I need a job. And he laughs, and he looks at me, and he goes, none of us have jobs, and we're all fucking happy.
Damn.
And I went, yeah. So with the union, now I was still an apprentice. I hadn't finished my apprenticeship. And I was in trouble with the union for missing work.
Okay, that's right.
So I had to go to the union hall to go in front of the board, they call it, right? You get like 5 guys, uppity ups in the union. They're like, oh, you're missing work. Why are you missing work? Don't miss work, So I go and have this big, long discussion with these guys. And they're like, well, you're still an apprentice. You're going to be for at least another year. They're like, so just go take another job call. Go out to the window and take another job call with the lady at the window. I said, okay, cool. Walked out of that meeting, walked past the lady at the window and said, have a nice day, and walked to the unemployment office and gave them my pink slip and never went back.
Holy shit, I got goosebumps. That's crazy.
Yeah, and just never went back. And I literally left there, packed up my cats and my futons, and went to Jersey.
And just moved in with them?
And just moved in with them.
Holy, what year was that?
That was 91.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking serious. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I was freaked.
I'm sure you were.
I was freaked. I was like, what the fuck did I just do?
You had money saved up though and stuff?
Well, I went to unemployment.
Okay,
so,
that's right.
So, for unemployment at the time, I was living large. I mean, my rent was like $80 a month or $70 a month or something.
God,
it was like,
dude. She's living in Jersey.
Just living in Jersey, yeah.
Just hanging.
Yep.
Holy shit. And then, what about your parents back then? They kind of trip on you leaving that, or your cousin that got you in, or?
Oh yeah, everybody. Everybody was like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Because you didn't do it for the band. The band's already done, so you're not doing it for music.
I was just like, I can't do it anymore.
For your mental.
I was like, I can't do it anymore.
Holy shit.
So yeah, parents were a little freaked out. Uncle was a little freaked out. Both of my older brothers, who were full-fledged members of the union, they're like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't. I can't do this anymore. So,
well, those first couple of days, we just kind of in shock.
I was absolutely in shock.
Yeah,
absolutely in shock.
Now I'm hanging out with these dudes.
Yeah, now I'm hanging out with these dudes. What are we gonna do? Oh, we're gonna go surfing. I don't know how to surf. Oh, we'll teach you. Come on, it's fun. I'm like, okay, cool.
Wow, dude.
So yeah, so we used to none of us had jobs, and my unemployment paid my rent, and when rent was due, everybody would they would all pick up odd jobs. Oh, we're going to go hand out flyers for the pizza shop. We're going to go flyer car windshields for the pizza shop.
Yeah,
and we'll get $20 for that. And so it would get the rent would get paid. And
damn, that inspired Chunksaah Records?
Chunksaah Records came about because they were recording, but they needed money to actually press the records for the 7-inch, the Greenball Crew 7-inch.
Wow.
No, not the fuck was it?
The first one of the first 7-inches, or no?
Or the first CD? Yeah, one of the first 7-inches, the first CD.
Okay.
The first CD, I think it was.
And that's where they came about, so you could have a.
So I borrowed money from my brother Kevin. I said, hey, I need to borrow $2,000, and he was like, all right, whatever. And so that's when Chunksaah came about. They were like, "Oh, well, we're going to name it after you." And I was like, "Oh, sweet.
Wow,
Awesome."
that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's how they came. Wow. So you're living out there, and then you start working with Bouncing Souls and doing weekends, like start working for them?
Yeah, basically hanging out with them. We're just traveling with them, roadieing up and down, like all over, wherever they're going. I'm with them. We're just like literally, none of us had jobs. Their band was the job. The band was their job, and so like playing all over New Jersey, all over Pennsylvania, everywhere, Virginia Beach, everywhere they could go.
Yeah.
They got a show, they'd go play it, and we'd go with them. Me and Maddie, Dave Politis.
Dirty Maddie, yeah.
All of us.
Promotions, yeah.
Yeah, and so the Souls so now that goes on for a year and a half. So it's 93, and the Souls are supposed to go on their first U.S. tour. And I'm going to go with them.
Sick.
I'm talking with my mom, like, yeah, I'm gonna go. We're going, cross country. I'll be back in like 8 weeks or whatever it was, 10 weeks. I don't remember.
And my finally getting out there. That's cool.
Yeah. And I'm like, finally.
Yeah.
And my mom says, your grandma's not doing really well. I don't think it's a good time for you to go. So I'm like, shit. So I stay home. Dude. About a week and a half after the Souls leave, I get a call from Jim Norton, who was working for Monster Magnet.
Okay.
And he says, "Hey, can you tune drums?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Monster Magnet and Raging Slab
nice.
need a drum tech. Are you available? Do you want to go on tour?"
Yeah.
I called my mom and I was like, "How's Grandma doing?" She goes, "She's doing better. I think you can go." And I was like, "Awesome."
Damn, that was it.
And that was it.
He's been around for a while, Norton, right? Still with bands and stuff.
Still with bands, yeah.
We played House of Independence, and he was there that day too, not long ago.
Yeah, he was the house sound guy.
Okay.
There for quite a while.
Great venue.
I think I'm not sure if he still is or.
He toured so many bands.
So many bands. So 7 Seconds, SNFU, so many different bands.
So that kind of opened the door for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you drum teching.
Drum teching, yeah. Because Jim was out on tour while I was living in Jersey. I did get a job.
Mm-hmm.
And my job was to stage manage at City Gardens.
Oh, sick. Legendary spot.
So it was great.
Wow. And you had played there a bunch of times.
And I'd played there a bunch of times.
Damn. That's cool.
So I was working at City Gardens. They'd have a show, whatever. I'd go down. I'd work the night, get a few dollars.
Did people know you from Token Entry there?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's close a crazy venue, bro.
It was awesome.
Legendary.
Loved that place.
Yeah. So you work in there. So now you're like behind the scenes, on stage, teching, doing all this shit.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And making connections and meeting people.
Making connections and meeting tons of people.
What was the band after Monster Magnet?
Was a band called the Red House Painters.
Okay. So you're just kind of going through like different tours and stuff, right? Just going tour to tour kind of?
The Red House Painters tour literally started the day after the last show, the Monster Magnet tour.
And so were you staying with that just East Coast, those tours, or they were everywhere?
Everywhere.
Sam, so your first time was with other bands? Yeah.
Yeah. So my first time anywhere else in the country was with other bands.
Damn. And you were enjoying it and all that shit?
Oh, I loved it.
Was it buses too?
No.
It was vans.
No, it was
vans. Okay, back then.
Yeah,
okay,
vans and box
Magnet.
trucks. Yeah. Monster Magnet, we had a van and a box truck. Raging Slab's tour manager was Gus Brandt.
I know Gus. OG, bro. Foo Fighters, all that stuff. Yeah.
Right. So,
damn.
Gus from Pensacola.
Still in the mix, still killing it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And so started working for bands and never went back.
It's fucking crazy. You did Warped Tours, you did all that stuff, everything, right? You did Lollapalooza before?
Did Lollapalooza in 94.
Damn. You worked for the Lollapalooza or for a band?
That was Green Day.
That's right, dude. So you're with Green Day before they blew up or right as they're blowing up?
As they were blowing up. I started working for them right after Dookie came out.
Holy shit. And how'd that happen? Just through somebody else?
The sound guy, tour manager from Red House Painters, this guy by the name of Randy Steffes, who good friends with Kent Jameson.
Oh, Kent, okay.
Right? You know Kent.
I know Kent, yeah.
At the time, early 90s, Kent was working for both NoFX and Green Day, like flip-flopping between the two.
Got you.
Green Day said, we want to hire you. Kent had a bunch of stuff with NoFX. He was like, I'm going to stick with NoFX. He goes, but I have my friend Randy can come in. So Randy went in to do sound for Green Day, who had a couple of their friends teching for them. And Randy basically told him, he's like, I got a guy who can handle all of this.
Damn.
So he brought me in.
You
and
did everything.
I took care of all three of the guys.
Holy shit. Serious job, man.
Yeah. Lollapalooza, Woodstock, all that.
How many years with them?
I was with Green Day for about 10 and a half years.
And you're in the video, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, right?
No,
Which one?
The Time of Your Life. Good Riddance.
That's the second ballad. Yeah, Time of Your Life was like the first ballad. That's a great song, though. I fuck with them. But that was the first ballad that like really fucking blew them up, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great, dude.
It was funny. We were on tour when they shot that video.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who directed it. But the director was like, no, Chunks, I have a part for Chunks in the video.
Holy shit.
He literally like wrote a part for me to be in that video.
Crazy, man.
I was like, oh, that's amazing.
Time of Your Life. That was a big song, dude.
It's huge.
Holy shit. And then after Green Day, where would you go?
After Green Day, I tried to get off the road. I was like,
you were burnt.
I was burnt, you know. Married. I have 2 kids.
Married, 2 kids. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
My wife was like, "I'm done being a single parent.
Yeah, for real.
You got to stop touring."
For sure.
So
it's a big sacrifice.
Yeah. So I tried to stay home for a while. I was working local production.
Tried to stay home is the key. Yeah.
You know, I was working local production. We're Golden Voice.
Yeah, Golden Voice. That's right. Coachella.
Yeah, Coachella, Bigger Hammer, all whatever I could get as a stagehand. You know, doing all those types of jobs.
It's no joke, man. I worked for Golden Voice for like a year and a half. I hired Ezak. I hired Danny Boy one day. I worked at the Fonda Theater, and people would like recognize me from the band. I'd be loading their gear, and it's an interesting thing. I did it because my son was coming, and our band was on hiatus. I needed to work, and I did it. I ended up working at Coachella one summer, building the stages. Lived in a hotel with a random person for a week.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It was fucking brutal, dude. But I respect it so much. It's like it's real work, dude. It's like all that behind the scenes shit. It's like.
So I was doing that, you know.
Yeah.
I was just doing that. And I remember we were sitting down, we're eating dinner one night. The kids are little, and we're eating dinner, and Sherry looks at me and she's like, "You got to go back on tour." And I don't say anything. I just keep eating, but in my mind, I'm like, "Oh fuck yeah," because I missed it.
Totally,
I missed it. You know.
It's probably like I know you're antsy. I know you want to get out there. You fucking, you know what I mean?
And so I was like, after dinner or whatever, you know, clean up or whatever. I said, "Look, are you serious?" She goes, "Yeah, we need the money." She's like, we're not making it.
Yeah.
With reality. What you're doing. And I was like, all right. I said, let me see what I can find. You know, I'll put some feelers out. I think I made 2 phone calls and went on tour with the Mars Volta as a drum tech.
Wow. It's awesome.
Yeah. So
it's crazy how much our wives miss us. Well, you would, I was on tour. You were doing your work, and then they miss you. Come home, and then you come home, and then like a week or 2 later, like, yo, get the fuck out of here, or like, when are you going back on tour?
Yeah, because you fuck up their whole program.
You do, because they have a program going on, and they are a single parent when you're gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I would like play a crazy festival in Germany with like 10,000 people. The next day, I'd be here, and I walk in the door, and my wife would hand me my son, and it was baby duty, or do the dishes, or fucking
get
home real fast. Like your wife's like, okay, now you're back home.
That's it. Yeah.
But it's 2 different realities. Touring is like such fantasy world. I don't know, but yeah, just you gotta go out there and make that money, man. She's like, get the fuck out, go do it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So you're back on the road.
And I was back on the road. Yeah.
Damn, dude. And now you're kind of retired from it.
Yeah, basically. So I did that for a few more years.
Did you do stuff at what other bands did you do? Rancid too for a second or no?
I did Rancid in 2019.
Okay. So that's kind of the last time, maybe.
That was the last time I was like on a real tour, but before that it had been 8 or 9 years.
Damn.
Before that where I had stopped, where I was just like, oh, I gotta get serious, get a job. Look, I stopped touring to try and save my marriage.
Yeah,
like I came off the road, and I got into the electricians union in Los Angeles.
That's right.
And so I'm doing this apprenticeship, and I'm trying to save my marriage. Unfortunately, that didn't work, right? Nothing but crazy respect for Sherry.
You can't say you didn't try. You tried, man.
You know, we both did, you know, so.
And she's awesome.
She's an awesome lady, right? She's a great mom. We got 2 great kids. So I got back into the electricians union. Marriage falls apart, you know, and I'm like, I should just go back on tour.
Yeah.
And I was tempted, but I'd already quit this apprenticeship once 20 years ago. And
right,
I was
dude.
like, I just got to finish this apprenticeship.
Yeah.
I just have to fucking finish
Is it hard to get in the Los Angeles union than New York? Is it different?
It's different.
Even if you have like a resume from New York, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. I didn't even try to let him know about New York. I was like, it was 20 fucking years ago.
This is totally starting over.
Yeah, I literally just started over. Damn. And I remember my first 40-hour paycheck as a first-year apprentice in Los Angeles was almost what I made in one day on tour. It was almost what I made in one day of tour for working 40 hours. And you know, you come into the union and they're like, oh, you're going to make a great living. You make good money, this, that, and the other thing. And I saw that paycheck and I was like, this is a good fucking living. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Well, it's a stable living where you're home and you're with your family. You know what I'm saying? You make
and there's
money.
I mean, the big benefit is the health insurance for me, right? I'm a type 1 diabetic, rheumatoid arthritis, hypothyroid. I've got tons of health issues.
Okay.
So the health insurance is huge, and I need it.
And the retirement too, all that stuff.
And the retirement's great. Okay. If I had stuck around in New York, I would be retired right now.
Yeah. I'd be fucking
but the problem is, since I started in LA so late, like if I wanted a full retirement, if I wanted to get my full pension, I'd probably have to work into my late 70s.
Oof.
Yeah, which isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm 57 now, and I'm looking to get out in like the next 5 years of having to be a guy who has to put tools on his waist every fucking day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You probably have crazy issues, all kinds of stuff.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, with any luck, at 62, I'll be able to say, okay, I'm retiring from the electricians union. I'll collect whatever pension they give me, and they'll carry me over until my Social Security kicks in. And then I'll just be able to go fish.
Yeah. Nice.
That's all I want to do.
There's so many sacrifices in music, whether you're playing it or working for it, man. Like you're saying, man. Relationships, all that. Missing people's funerals, weddings, death, all these different things, dude.
Yeah.
The sacrifice from married to the road type shit.
You do. I mean, and it's not for everybody.
It's not,
right?
Man.
People are like, oh, man, you have the greatest job. And it's like, you know what? At the end of the day, it's still a fucking job.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super blessed that I was able to do it for as long as I did, and then I'm still able to do it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm still able to go and do this. And I love it. I fucking
You still love it.
I still love it.
You still love traveling?
I do. I still love traveling.
Damn. You love flying?
I don't really
care.
Feel one way or the other about flying. I mean, I hate the fact that every flight is oversold now. Every flight. Like, you know, it's a given. Every flight is oversold. I hate the fact that you got to pay extra to get an exit row. Right? I'm 6'4", so I'll pay the fucking extra money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't trip on flying and secure all that travel anxiety shit?
No, none of that. I'm fine with all of that.
Damn.
But you know, and I still enjoy doing it. Like, you know, I'll do stuff with the Brouhaha Productions now.
Okay.
Did a lot of those last Punk and Drublic stuff.
And the Punk in the Parks too, probably, right?
Yeah, I did a lot of the Punk in the Parks too.
Then during the pandemic, you started 2 bands, War Camps and Let Rage, correct?
Let Rage actually started before the pandemic.
Okay.
But Let Rage was a lot of fun. It was a bunch of people from the bowling league I was on, the Gutter Punks Bowling League.
That's cool. I know that. You're a good bowler, huh?
I'm okay, I guess.
I started bowling again, dude.
Did you?
I fucking love it. It's like the funnest
so
thing.
Fun, right?
It's so fun, and I have such a wild, spastic style that works.
Dude, when do you bowl?
We bowl. I want to bowl with you, dude. We bowl over here kind of by Venice, and then we bowled over on that side of town, a really nice spot. I get the name. Yeah, I'll let you know. I love to bowl with you. I know you're
absolutely. Let's do it for sure.
You have your own ball and shit.
I do, of course. Yeah.
Damn, I have my own ball. But and then my wife was just like killing it. She got the most strikes the last time we played, like just throwing it under her legs and doing random shit.
That's amazing.
Like, we're not serious about it, but it's just so fun.
It's so much fun.
And I'm gonna blow up a spot. My boy Derek Green, who does a podcast with me, Separatore, he's very competitive about bowling. And then last time we played, I fucking beat everybody, and he was so mad. He's like, "Oh, my knee's kind of weird today." All these excuses, and then we played again. He started winning. He was so happy. Love you, Derek. But I never seen him be so competitive about bowling, bro. But dude, it's so fun. It's just a good time. It's a good thing with friends.
Yeah. So
anyway, so go your bowling team.
So bowling. we're literally, the band came together on going out to punk rock bowling. On our way to punk rock bowling, sitting in the car. It's me, Deanna, and our friend. Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank on his name?
I'm gonna get off the back of the 7-inch. Hang on,
he's not on. He's not on it.
Oh,
because he was supposed to be the singer. So
sorry, dude.
We're driving, and Jed. Sorry, Jed.
We love you, Jed.
But we're driving, so it's me, Deanna, and Jed, and we're driving on our way to Vegas, punk rock bowling, 2017, and Deanna mentions that she used to play bass in a band. Okay. And I said, "Wait, you play bass?" I said, "Let's start a fucking band." I was like, "I want to start a band." And I said, "Look, I just want to start a band. I just want to get together with my friends once every week, once every other week, get in a room, make some noise, have some laughs.
Totally.
If anything, if we get to play shows, amazing. If we get to put something out, incredible."
Yeah.
I was like, so we did that, and we were able to play shows, and we were able to put a 7-inch out with Mike from Not Like You Records.
Nice.
And big shout out to Mike. Huge supporter of skating and
where's he from?
Music.
Where's that from?
He's from Jersey.
Okay.
He's from Jersey.
Yeah, I do know that. I knew
he was living in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He just recently moved back to Jersey. But
Not Like You underdog song, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, represent. Okay,
yeah,
Jersey. Yeah,
exactly. Represent. So so Let Rage was a ton of fun. Pre-pandemic, it was amazing. It was great. I was getting calls every couple of weeks. "Hey, are you guys available to play this show?"
Yeah.
Yes, fuck yeah, we could play. After the pandemic, I was calling people weekly. "Hey, can we get on this? Can we jump on this? Can we?" And it wasn't fun anymore.
Mm.
And I just reached out to the guys in the band. I was like, "It's ran its course." That was it.
Damn. It was a hard time during the pandemic for anything.
It was a hard time for bands.
Yeah.
Absolutely a hard time for
bands.
Yeah.
It was like the last thing on the totem pole to be like allowed. It was crazy, man.
Right. So during the pandemic itself, Brian Meehan, who you know Brian, right? Loyal to None, Kill Your Idols.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Brian. I haven't heard that name in a while. Is he still in New York?
Yeah, he's still.
Awesome.
He lives in Jersey.
Okay. He was wearing the merch.
I think there's a song on the 7-inch called "All My Best Friends Live in Jersey," and he's one of them.
He was working like a merch place for a while.
Yeah, Merch Direct or Merch Now or one of those.
Yeah.
But so Brian and I have been friends for years. 89 maybe.
Wow. Okay.
Like
he's younger than us, though, right?
Just he's a couple years younger than me.
Okay.
So he's probably about the same age as you.
Okay.
I'd say. But he and I had always talked about doing a project together.
Yeah.
So pandemic, he's like, "I can't do anything. I'm writing songs. I'm sending them to you." I was like, perfect. So he writes the songs, sends me the music, sends me a guitar track. I get my buddy AWOL to play drums. So I get AWOL in.
AWOL?
AWOL.
Beastie Boys AWOL?
Beastie Boys AWOL.
Sick.
Suicidal Tendencies.
Shout out to AWOL, dude. Legend.
Yeah.
I worked with him before, with Golden Voice, I think, once.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get AWOL to play drums.
Sick.
Bunch of different bass players. The last one being Jennifer Finch.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so puts drums to the music. We have bass on it. I put vocals to it. Send it back to Brian. He does a rough mix. We have a 3-song cassette demo. We've got 5 songs up on Bandcamp.
Holy
and this
shit.
was all just done like via pandemic, via like GarageBand.
So crazy, bro, how that happens now.
And it's great. It's fucking awesome music.
I'm gonna check it out. So you only have a cassette? It's online, obviously. Okay.
We just have a cassette.
It's kind of sick.
If we ever get our shit together, Indecision said they wanted to do something.
Oh yeah, it'd be great, dude.
So
yeah.
Mandel, they made a big shout out to Dave Mandel and Dave Ito, both of them.
Dave Ito too.
Both of them, they were like they would love to do something with us. Pandemic ended and like your life gets back to normal. You got to go back to work. You got to go do this. You got to do that. So, but yeah, the War Camp stuff is a ton of fun.
Awesome.
So much fun.
And when did that cassette come out? Pandemic time? Okay,
yeah, end of the pandemic.
Damn. When was the end of the pandemic? When did it officially end?
21 maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. 21-ish.
So you were working on music during that time and not
yeah, we were working on all that work camp stuff.
What about work for you during that time? Were you kind of stuck with work or no? Was it a hard time?
Work was tough, but as a construction worker,
everybody was building shit to the houses.
Everybody was building shit, and
That's right.
The governor was like, "Nope, you're an essential worker. You have to work." And my doctor said, "Nope, you can't be around that many people." So I was like, "Well, what the fuck am I supposed to do?"
Oh yeah.
So I didn't work for 9 months because my doctor was like, my doctor literally said to me, if you go on a respirator, you're not coming off.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, okay. Because, I like to take everything as, bit of a joke or whatever. And I was just like, he said that. And I was like, oh shit, this is serious.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? So.
Damn.
So, 9 months went by and I was like, can I go back to work now? He's like, yeah, I think he's like, we know a little bit more about it. Yeah, I think you'll be okay. He's like, you got to wear a mask.
Of course.
So, so I was wearing when I went back to work, I was wearing
double mask,
the 95 with a bandana tied over it. And I was wearing eye goggles because at the time they were still saying you can get it through your eyes.
Gloves probably.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bro, it was crazy back then.
I was wearing like surgical gloves underneath my work gloves. It was insane.
I was spraying off my groceries, taking all my clothes out, putting them in the washing machine.
Yeah,
we didn't know anything. Everything was different.
Exactly. So I finally went back to work and, and just been working. Now it's just like I just work, go to work. Brian sends me songs. I work on them, send them to AWOL. He works on them, whatever.
So you working for the union in LA, but you work all around LA?
Yeah, all over LA, different spots, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. And you fucking miss playing shows or miss?
I do. I miss music.
Yeah.
I miss music.
You don't miss touring like crazy though, right?
I don't miss touring like crazy. And when I go and I do these long weekends, like when I did all the Punk and Drublic things, that fills that need.
That's nice.
I don't have to go on tour for 6 weeks when I can get it in 5 days.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, those tours were long, bro. 6 to 8 weeks, dude.
Oh God, yeah. Back in the day, yeah, they absolutely were. But I do miss playing music. And actually looking to start a new band with some friends of mine. Like I've got the lineup laid out except for a singer. You want to sing in the new band?
It might be kind of interesting. What kind of music is it?
It'll be good. You'll like it.
Okay,
I'm just gonna say you'll like it. I'll send you songs once I get this shit rolling. I'm gonna send you songs.
Okay. Is it melodic? Is it yelling?
I want it to be melodic.
Yeah.
I want it to be more oohs and ahs.
Oohs and ahs.
I want oohs and ahs.
I always thought the Token Entry was pretty original because you guys had woes, you had melodies too. It wasn't just straight up like it was hard. And we guys, it was Queens and the whole
right.
But it had melody, dude. It was always a melody.
Yeah, we always tried for that, for sure.
Yeah, it was so rich. And the guitar riffs and how dark some of the songs were, but then the melodies were popping on. I mean, it's really nothing like Token Entry.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Like, especially coming out of New York, you know what I mean? Like everything's so hard and fucking grimy, and you're fucking wearing knee pads and bleached hair. Do you know what I mean? But you still grew up around all these people.
I gotta pee again.
Go pee again. I gotta pee too. I'll go pee. What do you have an issue with your bladder or something or no?
No, it's the diabetes. One of the side effects of diabetes is having to pee like constantly.
And you had diabetes for how many years now?
24 years now.
And you're on medication for it, obviously.
Yeah. I'm a type 1, so I'm on I'm insulin dependent essentially.
You have to change your diet and stuff like that too.
I should change my diet.
I think I remember your diet a little bit too. Are you a pretty bad diet?
I'm terrible.
And so that's why I need the insulin.
Yeah.
But if you
I need it. My body does not produce insulin.
Okay.
At all. So even if I changed up my diet, I'd still be dependent on insulin. But
some people can flip it with diet though, right? They can't, depending what kind they have.
It depends on what kind they have. Yeah. It's possible. Like if you catch it early on, you can postpone it.
Yeah, my friend's a pre-diabetic and he just changed his diet and all of his numbers are going down right now.
Right. Which is awesome.
No caffeine, and all this sugar, all this other shit. And
right.
He's working out. Do you work out?
No. God, no. Fucking hell.
You never worked out?
Never.
You're in pretty good shape. Dude, like a strong dude.
1996 Warped Tour.
It's the last time you worked out?
Yeah. With Civ.
No way, dude.
Yeah, with Civ. Every day on the tour.
Oh, that's kind of sick.
Every day. We had a workbench. Me, Civ, Brian Bishop, Brian Kuntz.
Brian Bishop's jacked, bro. Supermodel.
All of us. Westy. Every day.
Sick
It looked like a fucking prison yard. All of us, every day, on a bench, on the workbench. I have a fucking cigarette in my mouth doing bench presses. Like, every day we're working out. Every fucking day on the tour. I'm not even joking. Every day.
You in great shape then? Yeah.
Every day. Working out every day. I got home from that tour, and I was like, I'm fucking yoked. I was like, I'm looking good. I go in the house. I go, hey, babe, to Sherry. I'm like, what do you think? And she's like, you look exactly the same. I was like, fuck this. I was like, I just spent the last 2 months fucking killing myself. You tell me I look the same?
And that was it.
Haven't worked out since.
Oh my God, dude. Do you still smoke too?
No, I vape now. I quit smoking, but
you smoked for how many years, dude? How many years?
All of them.
All of them.
45.
Yeah, since I known you, holy shit. My mom did like 50 years and she quit like 8 years ago. She goes, I still miss cigarettes, but she quit. It took her 50 years.
Yeah. I mean, I started smoking when I was 11. So
holy shit. So you transitioned to vapes.
To vapes, yeah, and and I'll get off those soon.
They're probably addicting too.
It is. It's besides the chemical addiction, it's the muscle memory is what it is. Like, and I knew that with cigarettes like long ago. It's not the cigarette that I enjoy. It's fucking this. It's like having something.
It's like people going to buy the coffee every day and having the same coffee. It's
exactly.
Like,
yeah, it's a muscle memory thing.
Damn. Yeah, right. It's just like every day they have to do it.
Yeah. So I don't ever remember a time when I was like, oh God, I love cigarettes.
It's the ritual. The ritual too.
It's the ritual of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't miss it? You miss cigarettes or no?
Not really. Not really. I mean, I've quit a bunch of times. I lit most recent time being 2 months ago. So I haven't had a cigarette in 2 months, but I'm just like, whatever. I'm fucking over these things. You know what it was? Is I remember the last bag of cigarettes I bought, I was like, I gotta stop wasting money.
They're expensive now, right?
It's so expensive.
So when you were buying them for like $2 or back in the
when
day,
I started smoking, they were 75 cents a pack.
And so now what are they?
$10.
Holy shit!
$10 here in New York. They're like $16 a pack.
$16?
Yeah.
You get more cigarettes in them?
No.
That's fucking crazy,
yeah,
bro.
Insane. It's crazy.
So now you quit for 2 months.
Yeah, quit for 2 months.
How about your coffee? You a coffee guy?
I don't drink coffee. I drink Red Bull.
Okay. It's just caffeine. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's my caffeine intake is sugar-free Red Bull or Diet Pepsi.
Oh, yeah, you have a Pepsi tat. That's right.
Yeah.
You had a Pepsi tat before Brian Baker, I think. But yeah, you have the Pepsi shit, yeah.
Yeah.
And you also have, is your hand a diabetic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember probably the first time I even heard what diabetes was you getting a tattoo. It says diabetic on it.
Yeah, got that at New York Adorned.
Holy shit.
Can't remember who did it.
Lori or no?
Lori owned the shop, but I can't remember who did the tattoo.
I wonder if you let me person with a diabetic tattoo. And the symbol on your hand is what? It's just like
that's the medic alert symbol. So
have you ever had an issue where people had to look at your hand and see what's going on with you?
Oh fuck, not yet.
That's better not happen yet.
Not yet. I was actually going to get diabetic across my knuckles.
Oh, that's hard.
But I realized that if I'm ever passed out from it, who's going to put them together and go, oh, look, he's a diabetic. So that's why I just got it written above the medic alert symbol.
Damn, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, because I used to have I was working, I was on tour and stuff, and I wear a bracelet, it would snap, I'd wear a necklace, would get caught and break off on shit. Yeah. And I was like, I got to do something. So I got the tattoo.
Damn, dude. Let's go to Redemption 87. You're wearing the shirt. I forgot that you started that band. That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
What year was that?
95.
95. And it's a Cali band.
East Bay.
East Bay. And where were you at that time?
I was living in Long Beach.
Okay. Okay.
I was actually living in South Pasadena. Working for Green Day. Living in South Pasadena. In between tours, I was bored, had nothing to do. NoFX was playing a show at the Trocadero up in San Francisco, so I said, I'm going to go check out the show. So I drove up to San Francisco.
Damn.
Like, just had nothing else to do that weekend,
Yeah.
So I drove to San Francisco and saw the show, and after the show, I was hanging out with Lars. Lars was like, where you staying? I was like, I don't fucking know. I just came up to see the show. He was like, oh, come stay with me. And he was living over in, West Oakland, over when he was living at Punks with Presses.
Okay.
Shithole neighborhood or whatever. So he was like, oh, come crash at my place. I was like, cool. So I go and I crash at his place. Next day, he's like, oh, I'm going over to my buddy Eric's. Do you want to come? And I was like, I got nothing to do. Like, literally, just had nothing to do.
So crazy.
So we're sitting at Eric's. It's me, Lars, Eric, and Tim might have come around to hang out. I don't remember. I was fucking around with a guitar and I was playing Break Down the Walls or something.
Sick.
Yeah. And Eric approaches me and he goes, hey, me and Ian, we're starting a new band and, kind of like to have you in it. And I was like, oh, I'm flattered, but A, I'm not a good guitar player, and B, I live in fucking South Pasadena.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So he's like, no, seriously, think about it. And I was like, I'll think about it. So I go home, and a few days later, he's like, I was talking with Ian and Gary, who was the bass player and the drummer in Redemption 87. He goes, we really want you in this band. And I was like, dude, I don't think you understand. I'm not a fucking guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm not a guitar player. And I was like, and I don't live in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we understand, but we think we really want you in this band. And I was like, fuck. He's like, when can you come up here? And I was like, well, I can come up next week. I was like, I'm home for like the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, he's like, all right. He's like, we're going to book room. Gary shares a lockout room with some other bands. He's like, so we're going to book next Wednesday night or whatever. And I was like, all right, cool. So I drive up there. I have a guitar. That's all I have.
Yeah.
I don't have an amp. Like I have a guitar, but I don't have a fucking amp. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we go to this practice room, and there was a Silvertone amp there, which is the Silvertone guitars used to have an amp that had a guitar case that had an amp built into it.
Okay.
Small little amp or whatever. And I went in, and I had my guitar and had a Rat distortion pedal. And I was like, I want to play with that thing. That looks fucking rad. So I don't know whose it was. It was just in the practice room.
Yeah.
Whoever's it was, thank you very much. And they were like, all right, well, what do we have? What are we going to do? And I was like, well, I got this riff. And we wrote like our first 4 songs that night.
Holy shit.
And
did they already have the name Redemption 87?
No.
Okay.
No, we didn't have a name. We did not have a name. So we wrote 4 songs that night, and I was like, oh, this actually could be something good,
Yeah.
So we wrote 4 songs. Over the next couple weeks, I think we wrote probably our first 6 or 7 songs.
Okay. Damn.
I think I went on tour. I had like a tour lined up. Came back. Went up there. And basically recorded a demo with Lars, the Spidey Sessions.
Damn.
The Spidey Sessions demo that was put out as a 7-inch.
Damn.
And I think at that time is when we came up with the name. And we were bouncing names around left and right. Jesus Christ, we couldn't come up. We were like, fuck, what are we going to call this? And I couldn't come up with anything serious. And somebody, I think Eric came up with Redemption 87. Him and Lars, I think him and Lars might have been living together at this time. Lars had moved out from Punks with Presses, and I think him and Lars were living together. And I think Eric, they kind of came up with the name together. Like, oh, we want it to be reflective of like that time, music, but we want it to be, Bay Area, but it's kind of, So that's how they came up with. Eric. I'm pretty sure Eric was the one who came up with the name. And we played our first show was at Berkeley Square, opening for
great venue,
opening for All.
Jeez, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was, and and we came out. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was borrowing amps. I borrowed an amp from Dave Smalley, I think.
Wow. Because
I was living in South Pasadena. He was the building manager, or the apartment complex manager.
What? Where you lived?
Yeah. Yeah. So he lived across from me.
Can I say?
And,
wow, bro.
So I borrowed he had a crate amp that I would borrow. So I took the head and I was like, all right, cool. Can I borrow your speaker cabinet for this show? Yeah, sure. So
Holy shit.
Stefan let me borrow his cabinet.
Damn, dude.
And we started playing a bunch of shows. Like we started getting a bunch of shows.
It's a great band, dude. Yeah, man.
Playing. Played the Trocadero, played AFI's record release party.
Sick.
For Very Proud of You, I think.
Okay.
I think it might have been before that.
Might have been for shows for a short time.
We played a ton of shows.
Yeah,
we played a ton of shows. And during that time, I told the guys, I was like, well, we played a show down in Orange County, down in some like, it was us, 1134.
I remember 1134, yeah.
Collateral Damage.
Yep.
I forget who else was on that bill, but Mike Hartsfield was at the show.
Okay.
And I went up to Mike after the show, and I was like, so what'd you think? He was like, oh, it's pretty good. I was like, cool, you want to sign us?
What did he say?
He was like, yeah, I think so.
Wow, that's cool, man.
I was like, what? Really? He was like, yeah, let's talk.
Sick.
So,
and that's it.
Yeah, so New Age put out our first, and during this time, our shows are getting split up because I have to go on tour.
Yeah.
I have to go work, do my job, right?
Yeah.
I was loving the band. So I said to the guys, I was like, we got to find another guitar player because I don't want me to hold this band back. I don't want me to be the reason this band gets held back.
Sure.
I was like, we have to find another guitar player. We need to be two guitars. We got to have two guitar players. So that's when we got Scotty, who was in a band called the Struggle Buggies, Bay Area band.
Yeah.
And Scotty came in. So Scotty was in the band, and we recorded the record. Had a blast recording it with Paul Miner.
Shout out to Paul Miner, man.
Right? Paul
Best,
he's the greatest dude.
Killing it, dude.
Oh my God, is he?
Buzzbomb Studios?
Buzzbomb, yeah.
Yeah, man. Did so many records with him, man. Love you, Paul. Great.
And so
Paul Miner Threat.
So we do the record. I'm now dating what's to become my wife.
Gotcha.
Living in Long Beach. Playing in a band in the Bay Area.
That's crazy, dude.
So they're like, oh, we got a show Saturday. I was like, all right, cool. I would wake up Saturday morning, drive up, play the show.
Dude, that's crazy.
And drive back to Long Beach.
Brutal, dude. Damn. That's a lot, dude.
Scotty leaves the band. Jade joins the band. Jade Puget.
Jade from AFI.
From
wow.
AFI.
Wow.
Yeah. Before he was in AFI.
Okay.
This is pre-AFI.
Damn.
I think Jade and I might have played 2 shows together. One of which was opening for Quasar.
Quasar. Oh, the Beastie Boys band thing?
Yeah, at the bottom of the hill.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And then I ended up leaving the band. The whole time I was in the band, I never had an amp. I borrowed an amp the entire time I was in the band. Opening up for the Swingin' Utters.
Damn.
Hey, Darius, can I borrow your amp? Yeah, cool. Like borrowing amps. Just every show we played, I borrowed an amp. When I finally quit the band was like a month after I finally bought an amp. I was like, oh, cool, I got an amp now. And I was like, I can't keep fucking driving up to the Bay Area.
Fuck, dude, this guy with no amp. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Damn. Swingin' Utters is a great band, too,
Swingin' Utters are amazing, yeah. Fuck. So glad to see them playing again.
That's what I was going to say. They're playing again,
yeah.
Right? Would there be Redemption 87 ever again?
No.
Okay.
No. We did 2 reunion shows.
Okay. How many years ago?
Fuck, I can't remember.
Yeah.
We did 2 reunion shows. It was over one weekend. We played at the Pound in San Francisco.
Oh, crazy place.
So now, mind you, I'm driving up there. I'm Jim Thiebaud's.
Best.
Huge shout out to Jim.
Jim's the
best guy ever.
Nicest guy in skateboarding ever, dude. Love you, fucking.
And
Thiebaud.
so I was staying at his warehouse in Oakland,
okay.
Which is the Adeline Records.
Oh yeah, Adeline Records.
Warehouse in Oakland, where Jim has a mini ramp.
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh, Jim, I'm coming up to do rehearsals for the upcoming Redemption shows." And he was like, "You want to just stay at the warehouse?" And I was like, "I would love to." So I'd fucking drive up there, skate the mini ramp,
sick,
go to rehearsal, come back, skate the mini ramp, go to bed, sleep on the couch, wake up, skate the mini ramp. He had there's a shower there. There's everything I needed.
Dude.
Everything I needed was there. Secured parking, so I was able to lock my car in every night.
Great, dude. That's awesome.
So I drive up, practice, drive up, practice, drive up, practice, drive up, practice. And I'm really getting the feeling that I'm not wanted for this Redemption 87 reunion shows.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like, well, what the fuck? So I'm talking with Gary one night, and I was like, who doesn't fucking want me here? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I know shit's weird. Yeah.
But why? Like,
Because somebody felt like it was more his band than mine.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
So we do the very first show. Mind you, I'm fucking driving up for like 6 weeks. Every week I'm driving up. So we do the first week. So we're at the Pound. We do our sound check. Sound guy's like, starts over on stage left. Jade, what do you need? I need this. I need that. Gary, what do you need? Drums. Ian, Eric, what do you need? I just need to hear my vocals. Tim, what do you need? I was like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, I've been playing shows for years without monitors. I don't need them tonight.
Okay.
I was like, I'm standing right next to the fucking drums. I hear everything I need to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Were you feeling this type of way being there too?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a little, yeah.
I was like stoked. So we get up, we get on stage, we start playing. First song, second song, third song. Gary's like, wait, that's not the song. And I was like, this is the set list we've been fucking practicing. What do you mean that's not the song? He's like, no, we got different set lists. And I was like, what do you mean we got different set list? So I'm just like, all right, well, what fucking song is next? Because I'm clueless now.
Yeah.
I was expecting we were going to get up there and be bang, 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 bang.
Totally.
Go through all our songs. So I afterwards, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? We're a band that has like 17 songs and 7 of them just got fucking cut from our set.
Oh, shit.
I was like, what the fuck? And Gary comes up and he goes, this was the set list that was handed to me literally right before we walked on stage.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, who did that? And he was like, oh, this was what? And I was like, all right, fine. So the next night we're at Gilman. I don't think we had a sound check, but at load in, I'm like, I went to every member of the band and I wrote up a new set list and I was like, this is the set list we're playing tonight. And Gary was like, okay. And Ian was like, okay. And Eric was like, I don't know if I'll be able to do that song. I was like, if we have to cut one song because you can't handle it vocally, that's fine.
Totally.
I understand that. Other member of the band says, that's a lot of songs. I was like, they're fucking hardcore songs.
Yeah, dude. Damn.
And he goes, oh, I don't know. So we get on stage that night. And before anything happens, I get on the microphone and I said, I want to thank all of you so very fucking much for giving us the opportunity to do this. I said, I also want to let you know that this is the last time Redemption 87 will ever fucking play.
Holy shit.
And I said, I have to ask you, do you want to hear all of our songs or just some of them?
Dude, wow.
And obviously, the kids were like, and I was like, cool. We got to give the kids what they want. Let's fucking go. And we blew through. We did cut one song because Eric's vocals couldn't sing that one song, but we blew through every song we fucking knew.
Holy shit.
And it was an epic fucking night. End of the night, I was standing on top of my guitar amp because there were so many kids on stage.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
You set the tone for the night. Yeah.
I was like, this is fucked. And I was like, the kids want to see this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fucking, what is this bullshit? We're only going to play some of our songs?
Was the vibe after weird?
No, the vibe after was amazing.
Cool. With the band, because you kind of set it off, everybody. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Eric, Ian, and Gary and myself had the greatest fucking night.
That's amazing. What year was that?
Fuck.
Over 10 years?
I want to say it was maybe 2005.
Okay, wow. Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
Holy shit. 19 years. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And what about Token Entry? Never again?
We've done a few things.
Yeah, I remember. I know. Yeah.
We've done a few things.
Does it feel good to play those songs again?
It does.
Okay.
It does. It does feel good. But I doubt it'll ever happen again.
Okay.
A lot of things would have to fall into place for it to happen again.
There's a lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts. I actually tried to get something happening. Like I talked to everybody, and some of the people were on board to come out for like a long weekend on the West Coast. I was like, dude, Token Entry's never fucking played the West Coast properly.
Ever still?
Yeah, not since fucking
Come on.
1986 with Anthony. And I said, look, Eddie Numbskull was going to book us some shows. He was like, no, I think this will totally go over well.
That's sick.
He was like, a long weekend to San Francisco,
Dude, Do Chris List show out here or something? Yeah.
Do 4 or 5 shows over the
Easy.
course of a long weekend.
That's it.
I was like, it'd be amazing. And this was after Let Rage opened for Gorilla Biscuits at the Garden Amp. And I was like, we have to fucking do this.
Yeah.
And some people were interested. Some people were like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to fucking have to fly back to the East Coast to do some fucking show for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really. A lot of things would have to fall into place for Token Entry to do another show.
And those albums have been repressed before, right? All of them.
A bunch of times, yeah.
But Way the World's been repressed.
Yep, all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Different vinyls, different colors.
Different vinyls, different copies, different fucking formats, whatever.
Are you listening to new hardcore bands? You check out stuff like that. You pay attention to what's going on. I mean, you knew what Not Lose was and all that shit.
I don't know if I would say I pay attention.
So many it's so big and driving now, dude.
Skullcrack.
Who's that? I've heard that yet.
Dude, Skullcrack.
Okay.
Orange County.
Okay.
Fucking amazing.
Okay.
Amazing. Seriously, check them out.
Okay.
They are so fucking good.
But you know how big hardcore is now, and it's everywhere.
It's
and
everywhere.
Fucking thriving,
Yeah.
and it's amazing, dude.
Omega Glory.
No, I never heard of them either.
Omega Glory's Brian Meehan's latest project,
Okay.
right? We were doing the War Camps thing, and then he was doing this Omega Glory thing. It's fucking sick.
Cool name too.
They're so good.
Okay.
So good. Check them out. You can check out, No Echo, right? Carlos reviews all that shit.
Yeah, he's cool.
Carlos is great.
He's East Coaster too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's so many bands, so many shows out here.
But Carlos is out here now, though. He lives out here. But
he kills it.
Yeah, that fucking just read No Echo. He'll keep you up to date on what's happening.
He's always posting new stuff out there, right?
He really is. Yeah.
Do you have any regrets in your life? Such a random curveball. I love it.
No regrets.
No regrets. Yeah, nice. I like that.
I mean, there's a lot of things I look back on and go like quitting the union in New York.
Yeah.
It's like, had I stuck that out,
my
life would be completely different.
I know.
Do I regret quitting it? No. I fucking toured the goddamn world.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking punk just to walk out and fucking check out and just go to Jersey with your cats and just and just wing it with your friends. I mean, fuck it, dude.
That's
living, dude.
I've lived a life that there are decisions I wish I didn't make.
Yeah.
But I don't have regrets. Obviously, regret hurting people that I've hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Wish I could take that back. Can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
All I can do is move forward and, try not to make the same mistakes and try and be a better person than I was then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
yeah, as far as regrets, no.
Yeah.
Can't say I have any, really.
I respect it. And then sober too, like you never really like a party guy, right? Ever? Just cigarettes, that's it, your thing.
Cigarettes and caffeine is my thing.
That's it, but you never like a crazy.
I
didn't know it to be that back then.
I never straight edge. I've been straight my whole life.
Yeah.
I've been straight my whole. I've never been drunk, and I've never been high.
Yeah. Your whole life.
My whole fucking life.
You never tried it? Stuff like that, right?
I've had a few drinks. Last time I think I had a drink was probably 30 years ago or something.
Crazy.
And I was just like, I don't like the taste of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I've had this conversation with people who drink, and they're like, oh, you're drinking the wrong thing. And I was like, no, all alcohol tastes the same to me.
Yeah.
Because all I taste is the alcohol.
Yeah.
So beer tastes the same. All beer tastes the same to me, and all alcohol tastes the same to me.
Mm.
I can't, there's no distinction between any of it because I don't like the taste of the alcohol.
Gotcha.
So, grown up with a lot of alcoholics in my family.
Yeah.
Father, older brothers, But we could go down that path.
So it maybe scared you straight in a sense not to be like that. Maybe I don't know.
I knew I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And I knew early on that I had an addictive. I started smoking cigarettes when I was fucking 11.
It's crazy, man.
Right, buying cigarettes for myself when I was 11. So I knew really early on that if I liked it, I was going to be a drunk, and I didn't want that.
Yeah,
right. Watching it, growing up watching it, I was like, that's not what I fucking want. So, I knew early on that I had an addictive personality. I knew if I liked alcohol, I'd be a drunk.
Yeah.
I'd be a fucking alcoholic.
Yeah. Was it never tempting for you growing up?
Never.
That's amazing.
Never.
Yeah. Just the cigarettes.
I remember one time, I was a kid. Both my older brothers and their friends used to rent a bungalow. They'd get bungalows out in the Hamptons for the summer.
Gotcha.
And I remember I would go out there and just hang out, right? Because it's like, fuck, I'm not at home. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking hanging out at the beach, fucking around.
Yeah.
And I remember my older sister and some of her friends were out that weekend. And they were like, oh, you want a beer? And I was like, ugh, I don't like that taste. I don't like the taste of that. And one of them said to me, oh, you'll learn to like it. And I couldn't wrap my head around that statement.
Yeah.
I was like, why am I going to learn to like something I don't like?
Yeah.
Why am I going to learn to like something I know I don't like? I know I don't like the taste of alcohol. So why am I going to learn? Why am I going to force myself to learn to like it?
Because everybody's doing it, and we're all going to do it someday.
You know what I mean? And I was just I was never able to get my head around that statement.
Yeah,
and obviously, that's stuck with me this whole fucking time. You'll learn to like it. And I was like, why will I learn to like something I don't like?
Yeah.
And then as far as drugs go, everybody I hung out with smoked weed.
Yeah.
Everybody I hung out with, skating, everybody was smoking weed.
True.
Senior year of high school, me and Brian Mitchell, we cut class. We're sitting in his house watching Sesame Street.
Sick.
We smoke a whole joint.
Damn.
He and I. And he goes, you feel anything? I go, I don't feel shit. He goes, oh, I'm so fucking stoned. And I was like, I don't feel anything. And I thought, I don't fucking need this.
Wow. It didn't affect you at all. That's
No.
crazy, dude.
And people say like, oh, the first couple of times you don't get high. And again, why do I have to learn to try and do something that I don't want to do?
No, I love that, dude.
So so I just never fucking, and again, also knowing that, I hadn't do, I was like, if I started getting high, I knew that, well, fuck, I might as well do heroin.
Yeah.
Might as well smoke crack. Like I knew that early on, I knew that if I started getting high, I would be a full-blown drug addict.
Damn.
So.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so tried marijuana twice. One time before that where I didn't get high, and then the time with Brian where I was like, I'm going to get high today.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and I was like, well,
fuck
that. I don't need that.
It's coffee and cigarettes.
Yeah. No coffee. I hate coffee.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just caffeine.
Just caffeine.
Oh, your caffeine comes from Pepsi. You originally
iced tea.
Iced tea.
And then Pepsi. And then
no Coke for you? Coca-Cola? I never liked it?
No.
Damn.
Pepsi.
That's my wife. My wife loves Pepsi too. It's crazy.
Pepsi. I'm in a Pepsi book.
You are?
Yeah.
What, because you tattoo and stuff?
Yeah.
Wow. Like our company gave this kid diabetes.
Legs McNeil.
Legs McNeil, okay.
Legs McNeil, famous punk writer, famous journalist, famous journalist in the punk scene. Punk magazine, Legs McNeil.
Okay.
Legs McNeil walked into New York Adorned one day when Brian Keeneland was sitting at the counter. And he said, do you guys ever do a Pepsi tattoo? And Brian said, no, we've never done one, but my friend has one. Oh, and he goes, I'm trying to put together a book for Pepsi. He's like, I'd love to interview him.
Wow, dude.
Brian calls me up and he's like, dude, Legs McNeil was just in here. Can I give him your information? I was like, absolutely. You want to interview me for a Pepsi book? Fuck yes.
Holy shit.
So Legs McNeil calls me up and we do this over the phone interview. And, he's like talking about my Chunks tattoo, which is in a Pepsi logo.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
That I got on the Pennywise tour when I toured with. I tour managed Pennywise on their first national U.S. tour.
That must have been insane.
First time Pennywise toured the country, I was their tour manager.
Holy shit. That's a whole other podcast. Okay. Wow. You got PTSD from that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You know, Jason was still in the band.
Oh, wow.
Jason was still the bass
original
player.
lineup. Damn.
Yeah, original lineup. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Right, fucking.
Oh, by the way, Brian Baker has a Coca-Cola tattoo.
Brian Baker has a Coca-Cola tattoo.
Pepsi tattoo.
I have a Pepsi tattoo.
Okay, go. Just fixed myself.
So, Legs interviews me about the tattoo. And I'm like, yeah, you know, whatever. I got the tattoo. There's, you know, bands. I'm like, if I'm going to tour the band, I have them get me Pepsi, not Coke.
Yeah.
I want Pepsi, you know. So we do the whole interview. And at the end of the interview, I said, you know, I'm actually planning on getting another Pepsi tattoo. And he goes, what? I said, yeah, have you ever heard of Pepsi Man? Which is, you know, basically he's from Japan. It's like Japan's marketing technique. They have Pepsi Man.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, I've never fucking heard of it. I said, oh, yeah, I want to get a Pepsi Man tattoo. And he goes, we'll fly to New York and pay for it if you let us photograph it. And I was like, fuck yes.
No way, dude.
So I said, let me check with my wife. And he goes, we'll bring her. And I was like, absolutely. I was like, yeah, cool. So Pepsi flew me to New York, paid Mikey Ledger,
shout out to Mikey,
to do at New York Adorned to do my Pepsi Man tattoo.
Holy shit.
And I'm in a Pepsi book.
That's incredible. They flew out, put you up and everything?
They put us up in a shithole. So Sherry and I said, fuck this. We're going to go stay down on the shore with Kate.
Oh, yeah. Wow,
with all the Souls people.
That's incredible, man.
And yeah.
What's the book called? Just like
It's called Pop Culture.
Nice. That's pretty sick,
yeah.
man. Made into a book for your Pepsi tat.
Yep.
That's incredible. So he's still drinking Pepsi, obviously.
Yeah.
Pepsi.
Well, Diet Pepsi now, but
Pepsi. But Pepsi for life.
Pepsi for life. Absolutely.
Damn. That's a cool story. You an optimist or pessimist?
Both, depending on
the day.
You know.
How you feeling?
But optimistic most of the time. But, you know, I'm a pessimist optimistic.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's you know.
You're a realist?
I'd like to think I'm a realist.
That's my wife is too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love those videos you used to be doing on social media where you're singing in your car, you're driving on the highway.
Oh, yeah.
Those are great, man. I do miss those. Those are great.
You know, I just...
I know you're not fucking with social media, but those are cool videos to have. You're cruising, like where you're saying where you're at, the highway, and playing music and shit. So the current bands is War Camps and That Rage as of right now, but something's in the works that I might be singing for. I'm gonna check out some tracks.
I don't have a title. I don't have a name for the band. I have the rest of the lineup.
Okay.
I have the rest of the lineup.
You tell me off the podcast.
Yeah.
What about daily rituals for you? Any kind of daily rituals? Besides Pepsi.
You're
not working out.
I'm not working, but I have some, you know, spiritual type, you know,
nice.
Not, you know, I have my daily readings.
Nice.
Right. My daily readings that I do.
Do you read a lot?
I used to.
Yeah, I started reading more now lately. I fell off for a while.
Something's happened where if I try and read, I fall asleep now.
Reading in bed at night is almost the best.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where I'm reading. I could wake up in the morning and start reading. I fall asleep.
Do you wear glasses?
To read, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just getting older, dude. Things just happen. You just fall asleep when you read. I don't fucking know. I don't know what it is.
You know,
it is relaxing to read.
People say, people are like, oh, getting old sucks. And I was like, it doesn't suck.
I'm not saying getting sucks, but things just start happening.
Getting older doesn't suck. It hurts a little bit more.
Yeah, it hurts more, yeah.
But
I love my 50s, bro. I love this shit.
Dude, I don't have any regrets. I don't care about getting older.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't getting older, I wouldn't have the memories I have.
Totally. Yeah.
You can't have memories without getting older.
And because you've been sober, you actually have those memories still. You can remember a lot of things in your life.
No, the funny thing is, I got a shit memory.
Oh, shit, okay.
Dude, people I know that are fucked up,
they got better memories.
Have way better memories.
Interesting.
It's like I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I remember one time I was talking to a friend of mine and I was like, dude, I remember this one time on tour and I was doing this thing and it was great. We were doing it and he's just looking at me weird the whole time. And I was like, what's up? I was like, what? I was like, dude, I'm telling you, I swear to God, this was so much fun. He was like, we were on that tour together.
Oh shit!
I was like, you were with me.
I was with you. Damn.
Yeah, so it's crazy. Yeah. Some of the shit I do remember, and some of the shit I don't remember.
No, I feel like I'm in good shape for my life, for my age. I'm not worried about getting old, but some things like that, just falling asleep, just certain things are happening to my body that I never felt before, like weird things happening, like they would never happen probably back then. But obviously because we may feel young and act young and look young and go to shows and still wear hardcore T-shirts because that spirit inside.
When's the last time you were in a pit?
Fuck, it's a great question, dude. Let me think about that. I was in the pit a couple weeks ago. I was in the pit, but I wasn't doing anything for the Antwoord. You know been in South Africa, the Antwoord?
I don't.
They're fucking sick. You like them. I'm on the outside of the pit with my wife and my son. We're getting pushed around and shit. I'm not in there like fucking moshing and shit. I might do a dive to like maybe when GB plays town soon or something. I don't know. GB's coming here
December 15th,
yeah,
Blasco.
Yeah. We're going to dive?
Okay.
There's no barricade there either. Yeah, GB gets me psyched still, though. Fuck. One of the greatest
they get me
bands.
psyched, too.
Dude, they're killing it. Still relevant, still killing it. One incredibly important album that's fucking trends generations and generations, dude. Unreal. That show at the fucking... I wasn't there, but the show outside at the... where you guys played with them. That was Stage Bum Rush.
That was insane.
That record's just timeless, dude.
It really is, yeah.
But I would never have sung on that record or lived with those people if it wasn't for you and me becoming pen pals. Like my whole life started in New York because of my friendship with you. So I want to give you your flowers on this podcast and thank you for that, because you could have just been like, fuck this crazy kid. He can't come live with me. Like, fuck it, just move here. Who gives a fuck? And I just did it. And I was all by myself, dude. I didn't know anybody but you and a couple people. They called me the girly man from Maryland. People made fun of me. But thank you for that. Because you gave me my shot to New York, dude. It's crazy, bro.
Of course. Wild. Nah, there's nothing to thank me for, you know?
I know. I was just some kid. I don't know.
Yeah, but we had we played that show at the Marble Bar with the Rollins Band.
Yeah.
And you were one of like 8 people that were at that show. There was nobody at that fucking show.
Damn.
Somewhere, I think I still have pictures
of
us.
I got pictures of me and you, my photo album from that. Like up front and shit. Yeah, dude. That's crazy, dude. But you're a big part of why I went to New York. And if I never went to New York, I would never do my band, all that. So you're the one that got me there. So I appreciate that.
Well, give
me a chance. Let me come to your house.
Fuck. You're always welcome.
And here I am
now.
You're
always welcome.
Here I am now in my kitchen.
You need a fucking place to stay. My door's always open for you.
Yeah. And that's hardcore. That's that family shit.
That's that family shit. Exactly.
We're all connected, even though it kind of might be strangers at that point, but then we're connected through the music, man.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful thing, dude. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's amazing that we're all still connected through that, and we're in our fucking mid-50s.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts. You know, it's like, I don't see the sick of it all, guys. We get together, and it's like we were never apart.
Totally.
You know, like you're cracking the jokes. The
ball
sing.
Breaking's still
the
there,
ball
dude.
breaking's all there.
I was in fucking Chile a couple months ago. My wife and my family playing these amazing shows in Chile and Brazil, and then Craig sends me a picture of my hairline. Out of nowhere, I'm like, dude, this motherfucker's been breaking my balls about my hairline for 30 years, dude. I'm a 54-year-old grown man. And he sent me this picture, and he's like, what's up, bud? And that's all he said. I was like, oh, I'm in Brazil. He's like, oh, shit, that's sick. I was like, hope all's well with you. And he wrote me back. He goes, I just want to tell you, you're such an adult now. I threw the bait at you. You didn't respond to the bait. And he just hit me back like a normal person. He was like, respect. Because he was just trying to see if I get a reaction to my picture.
Yeah.
But that's that hard New York ball-breaking tough love that that also molded me to who I am, because I was living in Maryland with my mom and Rusty with all these people. I moved there to a big city. I met all you guys. Everybody's tatted up and shaved heads and scary. But there's this tough shit where it's like, we're gonna break Toby's balls, but if anybody breaks his balls outside, we're gonna fuck them up. Like, only we can break his balls because we love him. This is that tough love that you get, and it gave me like a thicker skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to.
But I don't know if that's like a New York thing or that's like an everywhere thing. I feel like in New York is just
I can't speak for everywhere else.
I know.
But it's most certainly a New York thing. Like, if you do not have thick skin, you will not last.
I know. And it was scary at first being out there, man, without like just knowing you in a couple heads and like not having my girlfriend and going to the city on the train. I think in Flushing we had to take 2 trains, a 7 train.
We had to take the 7 train.
I got a 7 train tattoo, by the way.
No shit.
Yeah.
Respect.
That was my memory. So like the 2 trains through there to work to Myers Research Center, just this big fucking city, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? And then I fucking
Myers was on
40th.
40th. So it was just south of the library.
I was just in New York a couple months ago. We were in the area. I walked by there. I pointed to my son. This is my first job in New York, like that building and shit.
So to get to Myers, you only had to take 1 train.
Okay.
From Flushing, you only had to take 1 train.
Maybe
7 train. You take that right to Times Square.
Okay, that's what I probably did. Well, that other
Or
train.
Penn Station.
Then I started taking the N. I lived in on Steinway Street too, and
Yep, the R or the N. The N.
I lived in Flushing, Astoria, and Jackson Heights. Crazy, bro. Here we are now, bro.
Yeah.
Still have a great fucking hairline. Still playing music. We're all still alive. No, but yeah, it's great to sit with you and chop it up in person. You know,
It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's great, like fucking, telling old stories and stuff.
Shit. Yeah. But you're not to get emo, but I'm giving you flowers. Like your band had a massive impact on my life. Like our friendship, you taking me in, all that's like. That's a story.
Well, we broke up when you covered up your first Token Entry tattoo.
Yeah, because I got another one though.
Right. When you got the first one covered up, that's when we broke up.
Yeah, but you know why? Because
we were like,
I don't want to diss the tattoo. No. Well, the Token Entry, it blurred really bad, and it turned. You couldn't even read what it said. It just smudged out.
Right.
No disrespect to Cindy from Peter Tattoo. I love you, Cindy. She's still tattooing, but my shit got blurred. I couldn't even read.
Oh,
what
little
it
Cindy.
said.
Yeah, little Cindy.
She's still killing it, dude.
Absolutely. Yeah. Where's she living now though? She's like in the Midwest somewhere, I think.
Yeah, she's still doing it, but that's where the Sick of It All Dragon originally from her shop. All that shit.
Oh yeah, fucking John Nolan.
Yeah, I got that.
John Nolan was the first one to get it.
He was original?
He was the first one to get it.
It wasn't Debussy? It wasn't Devil now later on. Devil.
Nope. Devil was
wait,
not
John
the first
Nolan.
one.
John Nolan, he used to hang out
John Nolan, Ducky.
Ducky. Was he still around?
Yeah. He's married to
Still?
Gina Volpe.
Dude.
From Lunatics.
And he's in New York still?
Yep.
Holy shit, dude. What about the other guy? He used to hang out with you. I met him through you. He was on the cover of the Break Down the Walls cover. He's in the crowd, like kind of X'd up. Mark
McNeely.
Is he around still?
I don't know. I haven't seen him or talked to him in years.
Holy shit. He was a character.
He was a character, yeah. Mark and I grew up 2 blocks from each other.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So, dude, we could talk for hours, but all the Queens connections, like Armand Majidi and Kamanali and Arthur and...
Well, Armand wasn't from Queens originally.
He wasn't from Queens, but okay, was hanging out there though?
Yeah.
And then the Juice of Nuclear Assault would hang out, right? Back then?
Yes. Danny Lilker.
OG too, yeah.
Yep.
And then Tommy Carroll was hanging out there too?
Tommy, yeah. But Tommy was more... not actually sure where Tommy's from originally.
Yeah.
But Craig, obviously, right? And the whole, like...
all that, yeah.
But yeah, John Nolan, Ducky, original Alleyway.
That's crazy.
First one to get the tattoo.
Crazy. That's cool. I did not know that.
I don't know if I was the second or the third person to get it.
Damn.
But like when he got it, we were all like, that's going to be our thing. We were like, Alleyway, we're all going to get that. That's the Alleyway. We're all going to get that.
That's hard. That's how it started.
And that's where it started, yeah.
You have a Token Entry tattoo?
I do.
Yeah, don't you have like the...
I have 2 of them.
Oh, 2, okay, yeah.
I got
I remember that one.
there.
Oh,
it's crazy faded.
That is... Who did that one?
Little Cindy.
Yeah, shout out to Cindy, man. Holy shit, she did all of her tattoos,
Little
man.
Cindy.
All the
And I
first
think
ones.
Little Cindy did my other one, which is just on the back of my head, I have it says Token Entry NYC.
I remember that, dude. Your head shaved.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, man. Crazy times, dude.
Yeah. It was nuts. It was great, though.
I know. So many memories, man. It's just crazy. Now we're all getting older. Not about, it was all getting older together. We see people like looking different. We have gray hair, maybe no hair, but still like going to shows, hardcore kids. Still have this energy, man. It's something really special, man.
Yeah.
We're big kids, dude.
Yeah, we are.
Why is that? Just because the music we're into? I don't know. Because I don't know if there's any other genre of music where there's 54-year-old dudes wearing camo shorts still going to shows and wanting to stage stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? There's something about this music. It's so special.
It is special.
Keeps you
and that's
young.
why this music is still going.
Yeah. So many different styles of hardcore now and sounds and looks and shapes. It's beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a blueprint to this shit. There's not one style of... Like, Token Entry didn't sound like another band in the New York scene. And that's why I love that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. There is no
crazy.
blueprint. And it's, you just... hardcore itself keeps going.
Keeps going. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Totally.
never it's never going to die, right? Because somebody is going to keep it going.
Yeah.
Like the scene that we loved as a kid
Yeah.
has changed, but the kids still love that scene.
Totally.
And they still make it. And there are still fucking scenes thriving
All
that
over
we
the
know
world.
but scenes that we know nothing about
True.
that have that same energy.
Totally, man. It's beautiful, man.
That have that same energy with bands that we know nothing about.
And they're having their time like we had our time.
Exactly.
But I love that the newer bands give respect to the older bands, and they're like said, Killing Time's playing out here. All these younger bands who love Killing Time, and there's like there's respect for it and love for it, and
it's amazing.
People know the history of it.
Yeah.
As opposed to maybe when we get into it, maybe we didn't know all the history of it, or like when my band started, we were like the new band, the new Jack band, and the older heads like, oh, this isn't hardcore because they're too melodic. Or when you guys came in, oh, they're skateboarders, or they're not this hard. Like everything, every generation is different. Every style is different.
Yeah.
But it's all the same spirit and the same ethics and the same way we live our lives and view the world. And I don't know, it's interesting.
It's a spirit. It's an energy. It's an energy, really.
Because we're still big hardcore kids.
We are. Absolutely.
Look at Vinny Stigma, bro. He's like fucking aging backwards like Benjamin Buttons, dude. He looks amazing. He's so inspiring, dude.
He has more hair now. He has more hair now than when I first saw him.
Yeah.
Than when I first met him.
He's such a legend, though. He's just just to watch him, dude. Roger, fucking Keith Morris, like mid-60s. Kevin Second sounding exactly the same. Mid-60s. Bro, it's fucking...
Dude, 7 Seconds, still killing it.
So
fucking
me and you is
good.
like one of our favorite bands of all time. It's got to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my top.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Love 7 Seconds. And they were so much part of Token Entry and all that back then.
But you know, I mean, it's like Sammy playing with him now. It's like
incredible, dude. Like Reborn. But Kevin, like fucking with his long hair, his ponytails, and just you see the Circle Jerk show out here with them, at the Palladium. Circle Jerk 7 Seconds thing.
Yes.
That was great.
Oh God, yeah.
And he sounded so great.
Negative
dude.
Approach.
Yeah, dude.
It was insane.
That dude's killing it too. He's like gotta be in the 60s.
John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are like our Mick Jagger. So people, Mick Jagger's still doing it, like the rockers have him. We got fucking Stigma, Kevin Seconds, Keith Morris, Roger Murray. You know what I mean? Like Sid, they're all fucking. It's beautiful, dude. I guess we're ending on that. Hardcore's alive and well. We're alive and well. I'm with Timmy Chunks. I finally found out after 40 years what his real last name is. I'll keep calling you Chunks. He's not on social media. He's got 2 groups you can check out. They're gonna play someday.
I'm on social media, but I just don't post anything.
Yeah, Timmy has Let Rage and War Camps. He already broke up those bands. He's got some other project coming now. He's on
War Camps isn't broken up,
but you're on to the next shit.
Let Rage ran its course, but yeah. But there's
I love that he's still creating.
Music, that's the thing. Music is such a part of our lives.
I know.
Right?
Creating
is such a part. It's like
can't stop.
It's like I walk away, like, or whatever. It's like I'm not doing music for a while. I go fucking crazy.
Pulls you back, dude. Yeah.
It pulls you back.
Except for touring, you're extremely off that now, but you could go back.
I could.
I think you would.
If
the right band, the right anything.
God rest his soul. Fucking Yauk. Fuck.
Oh, man, dude.
Had Yauk never passed away, I'd still be on tour.
Wow.
I would work for those guys in a heartbeat.
Oh, dude. One of the greatest. One of the greatest, man. It's crazy. We'll never see the Beasties again. We'll never see De La Soul. We'll never see Tribe Called Quest. Like, all these groups that had this.
Yeah.
It's insane,
so
man. We're
amazing.
so lucky we saw them back then.
Fuck. So
you know what I mean? I would never want to see the Beasties come back with somebody different. You know what I mean?
They never would.
Yeah.
They never would.
Yeah. I like the Linkin Park thing. I think that's cool. I respect the band wants to do that. She sounds great. But some bands, they want to keep let end where it ended, I guess, you know?
Right.
I respect that too. Like Nirvana coming back with a different singer would be so weird. Do you know what I mean?
It would be crazy.
I wonder if like this young generation would embrace it though, because they never got to see that. I don't know, man. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
But Beastie Boys were the fucking greatest, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck. I saw Sick of It All in Quasar at Coney Island High once. That was sick. That's one of your favorite Top?
Beasties?
Yeah.
For sure.
Are you a big hip hop fan too?
I am.
Like you listen to old shit or new shit?
Old shit.
Yeah.
Old shit.
Would you have a top 5? I know Beasties would be in there.
Beasties, Public Enemy.
Okay.
Rakim.
Chunks' top 5. Ooh, Rakim's mine too.
Yeah. Beasties, Public Enemy.
Rakim.
Tribe.
Hell
Probably.
Yeah. Only New York shit. Queens had so much hip hop, bro. Holy
Queens,
shit.
and then it's hard to say.
You got 4 right there.
You know, Houdini.
Ooh, what about KRS-One?
Oh, fuck.
Amazing.
Boogie Down, right?
Boogie Down Productions, dude.
Fuck, those first 2 records.
Incredible.
Holy shit. And KRS, anything KRS did, even after.
Solo shit was great.
Solo stuff was so good.
I know, dude.
So intelligent. So hard.
Were you fucking with Wu-Tang when they came out? Were you on tour by then or not really paying attention? Wu-Tang's sick. Was that too late for you? Or no?
I did a tour with them.
What do you mean? You toured with them?
I worked for Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, bro.
Rage Against the Machine Wu-Tang tour.
I remember that tour.
It was insane.
You know Mark Helmet, the legend?
Yes.
He's still with those dudes, I think. Yeah. Hard Stance, GB. Best. Eating like fucking seeds, like vegan OG fucking savage. Dude, I love Mark. He's the best. Dude.
He's the fucking greatest.
So he did the Rage Wu-Tang tour? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Was that crazy?
It was nuts.
They talk about in their documentary how like, yeah, we got offered to do this tour with this like kind of rock band, and they were kind of skeptical, but they did it, and it was like...
It was so insane.
That's a legendary tour, man.
It was amazing.
Was
96.
it a long tour?
96.
Holy shit. Big ass sheds or whatever it was?
Yeah, amphitheaters.
That's amazing. Chunks, damn, that's a great one. That's the main hip-hop tour you've done before? That's about it? Or now you have the hip-hop tours?
And then Beasties.
Beasties,
I worked for the Beasties.
Which
album? At the end, the mix-up was at the end of their run.
Holy
the
crap.
reason it stopped, the reason we stopped touring was because Yacht got sick.
So you were with him during that? That's crazy. I didn't know that either. Wow, man. Did you go to that street that they named in New York?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Those are 2 great tours. Wow, man. You toured the Bad Brains at all? No,
never did.
Damn, the Wu-Tang fucking Rage tour is hard, dude. Holy shit.
So crazy.
Did you like Inside Out growing up?
Yes.
Yeah. Rage is sick too.
Yeah.
I appreciate that shit now more as I get older. Back then I was like, what is this shit? I'm too hardcore. You know, now I'm like, okay, I get it.
But when Rage came out, I was open to it.
Yeah.
Because of Zach.
Yeah.
You know, and like just Rage's energy.
Insane,
was
bro.
So fucking sick.
Untouchable, dude. Even when they just came back, they were killing it too.
Dude.
But the Wu-Tang was killing it. You were on stage watching them and stuff?
Every night.
Fuck. Were they hanging with the band?
They were around.
They were probably coming different sections, just like all spread out and shit, right? That's a crazy
It was crazy. That tour was fucking nuts. I was drum teching for Rage.
For Brad?
For Brad,
That's my boy, man. What up, Brad? That's sick.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
he's a good human.
I was drum teching for Brad, and it was just a crazy fucking tour.
Were they checking out Rage too, probably, watching them?
Yeah.
Did Rage headline?
Yes. Well, it was a co-headline tour, but Rage closed every night.
They probably killed it. Yeah, dude. That's Rage in their prime, too.
Right.
Also, Wu-Tang. It's probably a good new audience for Wu-Tang.
Yeah. Yeah. It was nuts.
Fuck.
So much fun.
Okay, dude, we're going to have you back on to tell about all tour stories next time. But now,
Jeez.
now you live back in my area, too. You live closer. It's not
North
far.
Hollywood, yeah.
That's sick. I love California, bro. I don't know where else I would live, man. Would you ever live back to New York?
New York, no. Jersey, maybe.
Oh, yeah,
all my best friends live in Jersey.
All your best friends live in Jersey. Yeah, that's a good point. I can see you doing that.
You know?
Cali is sick, though, man. Fuck. I don't miss that winter shit, you know?
It doesn't bother me, though.
Okay.
It's, when I first moved here, I was stoked, right? To never have fucking winter.
Yeah.
But it always rains. And I was pissed.
True.
When I first moved out here and it was raining in the winter, I was so fucking pissed. I hated the rain.
Yeah.
But something happened somewhere along the lines where I understood that the rain was now my winter. And it became more acceptable for me to accept the rain and just be like, oh, now it's wintertime? This ain't so bad.
It's true. Good point.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like the cold in the winter, yeah, it sucks. It's hard. It's hard.
Like our winter now is so sick right now. It's perfect, dude. This weather's
God, yeah.
No, dude.
It's so crazy right now. Like we're like, wait, it's winter time.
It's amazing. Anyway, we love the East Coast. That's our roots. That's where we met. That's where everything started. That's where fucking so much of love for music, hip hop, hardcore, everything.
All of
dude.
it.
It's amazing. It's amazing we get to still be part of music some way, shape, or form and fucking be big kids and wear punk shirts for the rest of our lives and all that shit.
I don't know if I have any other shirts.
You have any button-up shirts? You own a suit?
I do own a suit.
Okay.
I own 2 suits.
I just finally got my first suit. My wife's like, it's time to grow up and get a fucking suit. I hate suits. It's the fucking worst. But I got one. You have to do it. We'll be adults. We have to be adults sometimes.
If you ever want to go to the Magic Castle, you have to wear a suit. They have a dress code.
I've been there once. I probably dressed up then, yeah.
You have to.
You like that spot? That your spot?
I fucking love that spot.
Okay. That's your shit?
I love that.
Okay.
It's crazy, but I love it.
All right. That's your hang? That's your see you hanging?
No, but I mean, if I ever get the chance to go, I will go.
Yeah. I've been there once. I think it was pretty cool, yeah. All right, Mr. Chunks.
Thanks for having me.
Amazing, bro. I'm fucking psyched we did this shit. We've been texting about it for so long, and phone calls suck and all that shit. But for the listeners, you know that I've talked about Chunks many times in this podcast and the history of my life in New York and Queens and everything in between. So it's an honor to have you here, and fucking love you. Appreciate you, brother.
Love you too, buddy. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye. Got to give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years, and my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand. Love the concept. Love what they give back. Love the community. Love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company, and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people. And I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swipe the credit card. Don't really tell me much, didn't give me much details of anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH2O and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Removery has 155 locations and 1.8 million treatments. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, we talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life, One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is over 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH2O and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. I have a lot of friends who are sober, a lot of friends who are straight edge, a lot of my friends who are going through it. I know struggling with substance abuse and alcoholism can be really, really hard, especially knowing who to turn to. It can be really, really daunting. I'm here to say that a good friend of mine and his friend started this incredible treatment center called Refine Recovery. They gave me a phone number, 855-516-3332. You can text, you can call them. It's totally confidential. It's safe. There'll be somebody on the other line to help you out, a compassionate human being to talk to. They help you navigate the process, the insurance treatments. They accept most of private insurances. You can go refinerecovery.com, Refine Recovery Instagram. I know it's hard, but reach out to somebody, man. People care about you. People love you. People want you to be here for a long time. People love you in their lives. If you're going through it, make this phone call. It's totally private. I know people DM me all the time about going through it and going through sobriety and trying to get straight and trying to take care of themselves, and the struggle is totally real. And Refine Recovery is the definitely move. Reach out to them, 855-516-3332, or text them, 855-516-3332. You can call or text this number anytime, 855-516-3332. You know the drill. This number is here for you to call.